That's what fans around the National Football League are asking about Detroit Lion quarterback Eric Hipple, who in his first NFL start Monday night against the Chicago Bears threw for 4 touchdowns, including this 94-yarder to Leonard Thompson, and then displayed his mobility, running for 2 more in leading the Lions to an impressive 48-17 victory.
It was a fun first game. I never expected it to happen that way. I was a little bit edgy going into it, but after the first pass and things opened up that way, it felt great, and I felt really into the game. This week practice has been a little bit different. That edginess isn't there. I've got that little bit of confidence built up behind me after a first start, and things are going to be a little bit different this week, I think, against the Packers than against Chicago. Chicago is a team that tried to blitz you and make the big play against you, and so left openings for us to make the big play. This week, the Packers, they have a tough defense and more of a basic defense, and they sit back and they say, here we are.
80,000 plus on hand here at the Pontiac Silverdome for this NFC Central Division game. Hi, everybody. I'm Frank Lieber along with Johnny Morris, and you tell me, Johnny, what can Hipple possibly do for an encore?
Well, he's involved in 6 touchdowns. People are going to say, what are you going to do for me next, Eric? And I'll tell you what, that creates some pressure. But he had a great game. We'll see if he can do it again today.
Well, Packers have had their problems, of course, offensively. But defensively, this football team of Bart Starr's been playing pretty well in recent weeks.
Actually, on defense, the record is a little bit deceiving. They were 2-5, but the defense hasn't been all that bad. They've been put into bad situations by the offense with 15 fumbles. But Michael Douglas has anchored a very tough defense. Number 53 has done a heck of a job for the Green Bay Packers. As you see him come in here and slice through to make the tackle. 15 solo tackles last week. That is a heck of a job for a linebacker. He even got in on the sacks. As you watch this play, he puts the sack on Joe Montana. The Green Bay Packers have mobile linebackers, and they're going to be out there after Eric Hipple this afternoon. We'll find out what happens. Now let's go down on the field. We're ready for the kickoff.
The Lions have won the toss and elected to receive, quite obviously. And Jan Stenerud will be kicking off for the Green Bay Packers. The deep men. Alvin Hall, number 35, coupled with Robbie Martin, number 83. Standing on the goal line for the Detroit Lions. There's the statistics on Hall thus far on kickoff returns. And this NFC Central Division game is underway. Martin across the 20 and out to the 24-yard line. The Lions have put it in play from there. Now let's take a look at the Detroit Lions offensively. They've had a couple of lineup changes due to injuries. Most prominent, of course, Rick Kane filling in for Billy Sims for the 2nd straight day, although we have been led to believe that Sims could play if necessary. They're also missing Chris Diederich out of their offensive line as he was felled with an injury against the Chicago Bears. Of course, the man to watch, Eric Hipple. 1st and 10. Blitz immediately, and he gets rid of the football to the tight end, David Hill. And Hill is out short of the 30-yard line. Picked up about 5 on the play, but good reaction from the youngster to dump that ball off as he did.
The Packers put quick pressure on, and the Lions, as they did last Monday night, came out throwing on 1st down. They had a bomber that worked for them last week. This time a little bit shorter pass, but it does put Detroit into a good 2nd down situation.
Packers play the 3 up front and then 4 outstanding linebackers. They've got a couple of problems in that secondary. Maurice Harvey, of course, still getting his feet wet. 2nd and 5. Lions from their 29-yard line. Bouncing outside is Kane, and he's got the 1st down for Detroit at the 36-yard line. Tackle made by Mike McCoy. Kane came up with 101 yards rushing the other night against the Bears. Looked very strong.
His 2nd biggest day as a Detroit Lion, and that says a lot for the Lions offensive line. Of course, anybody's going to miss Billy Sims, but for Kane to come in there and gain over 100 yards last week, he's doing a job, and he's getting some help in that line. Rick Kane also caught a touchdown pass last week. As you look at Bart Starr, things are not going well for the Packers. As you know, they're 2-5, and he has got to turn things around very quickly, or most people speculate he will not be the Packers coach next year if he doesn't.
Well, many say it'll take at least a 500 season for the Packers for Starr to retain his job. Kane near another 1st down as he's run out of bounds in front of the Packer bench at the 45 by Harvey, number 23. Kane, very strong runner.
There was a good block by Dexter Buxley that time, and Homer Elias got out there, so they had some real good blocking on that play. The Lions moving the ball right off.
Not quite enough for the first down. It'll be 2nd and 1 as they spot the ball at the Detroit 45-yard line.
The weather sure is nice in here, isn't it?
Is this a facility? Of course, the Super Bowl will be here in Pontiac on CBS come January 24th. Dexter Bussey on his first carry of the day may have picked up just enough for the first down. Mike Douglas making the stop. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience, and any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Detroit Lions and the National Football League is prohibited. Close enough for measurement. Monty Clark uses wide receivers to send in his plays. Mark Nichols, the outstanding rookie and #1 draft choice, and Leonard Thompson. Second first down of this drive. Jim Tunney is the referee. There's Starr. Man under a lot of pressure right now. Although personally he's still as nice a human being as you find anywhere. First and 10, Detroit at its 47-yard line. That's the tight end David Hill in motion. He goes to Hill again at the sideline, and Hill bounced out of bounds at the 45. Again, close to another first down. His second pass reception here in the first period. Mike Douglas making the stop. Same play looked like.
Yes, and you can see Hill going out there in motion, just hit the motion man right away, and then he takes it on down the field. A lot of receivers don't like to catch a pass out of in motion because you're so involved in trying to turn up the field at the right time and not make a mistake for illegal procedure, and they don't like that. It's motion is best as to dictate a defense rather than throwing to him, but they made it work that time.
On 2nd and 1, the Lions have inserted a second tight end, Ulysses Morris. Just one running back. That's Kane.
Oh, everybody's out.
Kane down to the 40 to the 37-yard line. Another Detroit first down. George Cumby, number 52, the Packer linebacker, makes the stop. But the Lions are on a roll.
And look at that. The whole offside of the Lions line came across and pulled and through the box. Dorney was over there. Bollinger was there. And Kane went up and over and got himself a nice gain. But the line was able to get out and pull around the horn with no obstruction from the Packers defensive line to knock somebody off their route to get to the sideline. So pretty good play by the Lions.
Kane right now is averaging better than 5 yards a carry that he averaged last Monday night against the Chicago Bears. First and 10, Detroit at the Green Bay 38-yard line. Kane on the reverse. Down to the 30-yard line, and near it goes Mark Nichols. Ball is loose. Picked up by the Packers. Green Bay recovers. John Anderson, number 59, wound up with the football. And the turnover stops the Detroit drive.
And that was an ironic turn of events because it was Anderson who was knocked down and blocked out of the play, got up and made the fumble recovery as Green Bay gets the first break of the game.
Packers ball, first and 10 at their 31-yard line. Anderson just happened to be in the right spot, didn't he?
He certainly was.
Big turnover, and the Packers will try to get it cranked up offensively. They've been having all kinds of problem protecting Lynn Dickey. Dickey, straight handoff, and not much there. Doug English really does a job at closing the hole on Harlan Huckleby. The former Michigan star, short yardage picked up on the play to the 32. It'll be 2nd down, 9. Take a look at the turnover again. You can see what we were talking about with Anderson, particularly at Green Bay. Here's the reverse to Nichols.
And they run about 2 or 3 reverses almost every game. You're going to see Anderson, 59, was down and gets back up and makes the recovery for the Packers. They now have the ball.
5th defensive back in there for the Detroit Lions on 2nd down, 9. Dickey back to throw it. Went to the safety mat. Jerry Ellis. Here's the way the Packers line up. Ellis and Huckleby, the setbacks, and of course the 2 great wide receivers, Lofton and Jefferson, if they can only get the ball to them. Tim Stokes replacing Mark Concar in that offensive line. Stokes playing with a groin muscle pull. And Paul Kaufman, a very underrated tight end. Dickey at the throttle. Suffered a jammed neck last week against San Francisco. Some question over whether or not he was going to be able to play. From the shotgun. 3rd down, 9. Dickey intended for Jefferson. Well covered at the 37-yard line by Stan White, number 52. White's fired up.
Yeah, he certainly is, and he was in the right spot. That time they had that play well defense. They actually had the tight end and both the receivers on the same side of the field, and Jefferson hooked right into where Stan White was waiting, so the Lions were ready for that play and in the right spot. Not only White, but the rest of the defense.
Ray Stachowicz, who's averaged 42 yards plus per punt this year.
10 men on the line of scrimmage here for Detroit.
Robbie Martin, the deep man. Lions still peeling back and playing return all the way. Martin, 35, up to the 40-yard line, and that's the end of the line. Popped pretty good by the Packers specialty team, particularly Randy Scott, number 55. Timeout here at the Pontiac Silverdome. Here at the Pontiac Silverdome, that punt by Stachowicz, only 33 yards. As he kind of line drive it, returned 6 by Martin, and good field position for the Lions. 1st and 10 at their 40. Rick Kane after the 43-yard line. You know, we've talked so much about Eric Hipple. You know that Eric is filling in for Gary Danielson as a pretty decent quarterback. He's had injury problems, but will be eligible to come off the injury list. He's had a dislocated wrist in about a week or 2. Of course, if Hipple keeps playing the way he has, it's going to be interesting.
St. Louis has taken an early lead over Minnesota 3-0 in the first quarter. Cleveland 7-0 over Baltimore first quarter. And there is New England over Washington 3-0.
Our game is scoreless. 2nd down, 7. Lions at their 42. Bussey breaks across the 45 to midfield, and looks like he's maybe a yard or a little less short of the 1st down as the Lions continue to run the football awfully well. Ezra Johnson making the stop. There's Monty Clark sending in Leonard Thompson with the next play.
The Lions are 3-4 going in, but they very easily could have a much better record than that. They have 2 or 3 games earlier this season that they could have won, which they did not win. Things just did not go their way, and some coaching decisions that maybe could be questioned. So now they're trying to turn around, stay close to those Vikings.
3rd down, less than a yard. Kane hurdles over the defensive line and his own offensive line and down to the Packer 45. 1st down. Ironically, the Lions have won all 3 of their league games at home and lost 4 on the road.
You're going to see a real collision between Kane and Maurice Harvey as he goes up and over. He follows Bussey, and you're going to see number 23 coming in right there, and there was the collision. Mike McCoy also in on the tackle. 1st down, and I think they're going to go with Kane. Wouldn't you guess? And talking with Monty Clark, I think unless he feels the team gets in trouble, he's going to try and hold Billy Sims out for another week.
That's the impression we've been getting. Bussey outside to the 39-yard line, pinned over there by Rich Wingo, number 50. We started to say the Lions have won all 3 of their league games at home, lost 4 on the road. Green Bay, on the other hand, has not won at home in 4 tries this year. Actually 6 if you go back to last year. And they're 2-5 with their only 2 victories coming on the road.
Dexter Bussey is heading towards the 5,000 mark. That's a lot of yards. And of course, when they brought Billy Sims in, Bussey was moved over, and he's accepted the position well.
2nd and 5 from the Packer 39. Hipple, good protection, sends it long. He's got Scott. Freddie Scott at the 8-yard line. 1st down. Harvey was circling around like a center fielder looking for the football as Scott turned him completely around on the play.
And it was a great move to the corner and a delay move. Watch him go down. He's going to be double covered. They got him inside, outside, and he makes a nice move right there and then dips off, and Mark Lee's going the wrong way. And the pass was a little bit short by Hipple, but Scott came back, made sure he had it. 1st down, Detroit, and excellent pass protection. Did you notice that pass protection? Hipple had all day to throw that ball.
32 yards on the pass play. Hipple off to a good start. He's 3 out of 3. Kane cuts back in, and gets a couple to the 6. He saw the door close to the outside and elected to cut back in and ran right into Mike Douglas, who has really turned into an all-world type of defensive player for the Packers.
Anytime you get 15 tackles, solo tackles in a football game, you've been playing. That's what he did last week. As you look at Bart, Bart's got to wonder what's going on. The Packers usually are very strong in the first quarter and second quarter. They've outscored their opponents. But Detroit, in their first possession, if it hadn't been for the fumble, they were deep in the territory, and now they're down deep again. So they're pretty much moving the ball as they please right now.
2nd and goal from the 6. Bootleg, Hipple, he'll score. He's got 1. I guess he's got 5 to go.
You said, what is he going to do for an encore? He's already begun. All the action was to the right. And Hippo just put the ball on his hip and faked everybody out and went back to the other side. Notice the line. You see Bussey. Everybody goes that way. And Mike Douglas, 53, was on the chase. And he went for the fake, too. And there was no way that he could recover and get Hippo, who is very fleet of foot for a quarterback. He has all the tools that are needed. Gary Danielson better watch out. Eric Hippo might not let Danielson have his job back if he keeps this up.
Eddie Murray tacks on the extra point. And it was just like looking at a replay of the shot we showed you in the highlights at the start of the show.
Watch all the blue jerseys. Everybody goes to the right except David Hill, 81, as he dipped back here and kept McCoy from getting any penetration, and that allowed Hippo to get into the end zone, 7-0.
That, by the way, is the first touchdown Green Bay has given up this season in the first quarter. They have not been scored on in the first quarter of any game prior to today. Murray kicking off, and Mark Lee is deep. From the 3, 15, up to the 20. And stopped at the 25-yard line by Curtis Green, the Lion rookie, number 2 draft pick. There's the book on the scoring drive, and they bit it off in pretty big chunks. The biggest, of course, the 31-yard pass play to Freddie Scott.
You know, Scott and Thompson combined for 6 receptions last week for 228 yards. That's a pretty good average for those wide receivers.
It's an interesting story. They've been threatening all week to step on Billy Sims' toes some more, because the Lions obviously went much more to the pass without Sims in the lineup against the Bears. 1st and 10 from the 25. Lofton, 40, 50. Lofton may go all the way. 30, 20. He's gone. How's that for getting it back?
Tremendous speed by James Lofton. The quick touchdown on the quick post, and that's the kind of thing that the Green Bay Packers have got to do. The strength of that team right now is the wide receivers down and in. The linebackers can't get out there in time, and Lofton takes it. Boy, that was a perfect pass by Dickey. Hit him right in stride. And then, as you know, he can run fast, about a 9.400, and he broke the tackle right there, and this gave it the high heel step, and nobody's going to catch him. Olam there trying to make up some ground. Wayne Smith, everybody there, but nobody's going to catch James Lofton once he gets out in the open, and that's what the Packers got to do, take advantage of their strength.
75 yards on the touchdown pass and catch. Stenerud adds the extra point. And in a split second, we're tied. 4 weeks of great fights. Saturday afternoons on CBS. Stenerud ready to kick off. That's Robbie Martin, number 83. He's back there with Alvin Hall. This one coming down to Hall's side at the 7. 15, 20, 25, 30. Still on his feet. 35, 36-yard line. Good return. Byron Braggs, number 73, finally makes the stop. The touchdown reception by Lofton a moment ago is the longest touchdown catch of his Green Bay career.
And I believe it was a first down pass, wasn't it? That's something that the Packers we may see more of, because that's a good time to throw. Look at St. Louis over Minnesota, 10-0. That is a first quarter score. Atlanta over the Giants, 7-0 first quarter. And Tampa Bay leads Philadelphia. Some surprises, at least in the early going in the NFL games.
Eagles may be looking ahead to their game with Dallas next week. 1st and 10, flag down. The first marker of the day is Bussey. Gets past midfield and is all the way to the Green Bay 45. But there was a marker dropped at the line of scrimmage, which is normally where you drop those holding penalties. Or in this case, illegal motion. Bring it back. Lions have really run the football well here in the first quarter.
They have, and when you run well, you're going to pass well too.
Illegal motion, right side of the line, 5 yards, still first down.
So it'll be 1st and 15 for Detroit, back to the 31-yard line. Hipple a perfect 3 out of 3 for 41 yards so far. Third time they've gone with the pass to the sideline for the tight end, David Hill. And Hill's third reception out to the 40-yard line. They get the 5 they lost back in the previous play, plus 4 more.
You'll see the wide receiver clears the zone, and they just take the tight end out there on a Y, what they call a Y pattern, and it's Mike McCoy on the big tight end, David Hill. He does make the tackle, knocks him out of bounds. They got about, what, 3 or 4 yards out of it.
2nd and 7. Actually, a little more than that when you consider they lost 5 on the penalty. So it's about an 8-yard reception.
Right.
From their 39. Hipple, good protection. Now he's in trouble. Drops the ball. And fortunately for Detroit, falls on it. Douglas didn't see the ball loose. Mike Douglas with another sack. Green Bay's MVP last year on defense. And certainly their MVP on defense this year. An outstanding year.
And Michael Butler kept pushing on Dorney, finally got back there, and he was able to help out. But that time, you have to give some credit to the Packer defensive backfield, because Hipple was there for a while. He had time to throw. There was just nobody open.
The loss moves the Lions back to the 30-yard line. It is now 3rd down. Let's call it 17. Horace King is in the backfield. That's intended for King. Incomplete. As he got popped pretty good by John Anderson, number 59.
And of course, the question on that play was, did he hit him before the ball got there? As you take a look at the defense, they went back into the zone. Now, Anderson hits him right when the ball gets there. I would say that the call was a good one, as long as he does not make contact before the ball arrives.
Tom Skladany will do the punting for Detroit, their first punt of the day, and the deep man is Mark Lee, number 22. 2nd-round draft choice of the Packers a year ago, who missed most of last season with an injury. Skladany right now is fighting Dave Jennings of the Giants for the league lead. Ooh, he's a great punter. Fair catch by Lee, and probably a wise move, because Leonard Thompson, number 39, was really bearing down on him.
Nobody stopped Leonard Thompson at the line of scrimmage, and he was down there, and that's important when you can get those guys down there and force that man for a fair catch.
51 on the punt, so that will not hurt Skladany's average.
We have New England jumping on top of the Redskins 6-0 in the first quarter. A couple of field goals by Smith.
Lions on their injury list include James Hunter, the defensive back, and that could be a big factor here with Lofton and Jefferson and some youngsters in that secondary for Detroit.
Let's see if they throw on 1st down again.
1st and 10 from the 19-yard line. Jefferson in motion. One of the Lions jumped offside as Gary Ellis takes the handoff out to the 21 for a pickup of 2 yards. Of course, he'll be claiming that the Packers have pulled him offside, but we'll see how the officials decide. Offside against Detroit. Cost the Lions 5. Steve Purifoy, the former Packer who plays the left end defensively, number 75.
He has 5 sacks for the Lions this year, second only to Bubba Baker, who as you know, won't be playing today because of that bad toe.
Offside, 75. Still 1st down.
1st and 5.
Now 1st and 5, though, for the Green Bay Packers at their 24. Of course, Dave would like to have a good day against his former mates. He started in the defensive line for the Packers for 3 years between 1975 and 77, signed by the Lions as a free agent. Ellis tripped up at the line of scrimmage. Nothing there for him, and it was Purifoy, guilty of the penalty a moment ago, who made the big play here. Let's take a look at the Lions defense. They play the standard front 4, and one prominent name missing there, Bubba Baker, who is out with a sore toe today, turf toe.
William Gay's going to play a lot. He can play end or tackle. He's a very valuable man. You look at the linebackers, Fantetti anchors at middle, and then there's Hector Gray in for James Hunter.
2nd and 5. Packers from their 24, pitch to Huckleby. Flag goes down as Huckleby gets maybe a yard after the 26-yard line. Contained very well by Stan White. See what this marker is all about. Clip against Green Bay. It's one of the things that have been going wrong for the Packers in recent weeks. The number of penalties and the problems they've had with their offensive line and trying to protect Lynn Dickey. They've had 29 sacks in 7 games this year, which is an average of better than 4 sacks per game.
And that's one reason that they've got to throw some shorter passes to try and hit these receivers in stride. The quick post, the quick hitch, the short outs.
Clipping, 68, half the distance of the goal line, still 2nd down.
Half the distance to the goal.
Oh, right there on the right, you can see the clip. That's Greg Cook, I believe, that puts the clip.
2nd and 16.
And that is a no-no, at least outside of the tackle zone.
That moves the ball back to the 12. It is now 2nd down, 16. And Dickey will operate from the shotgun. Jefferson in motion. From the goal line, hits Jefferson at the 23. Still considerably short of the 1st down. The officials will mark it at the 24. Ray Oldham made the stop. JJ, they call him. He had an interesting comment this week, I thought. He said when he got to Green Bay, they take losing too easily in Green Bay. Of course, what he's used to out in San Diego, a little bit different. But he'd like to see his teammates get a little hotter when they lose a football game. Be a little more concerned about it. As is this man, Bart Starr. 3rd down. Packers still need 5 for the 1st down. Ball is at their 24-yard line. Kaufman, the tight end, in motion. Blitz on Dickey. Unloads quickly. Hits Kaufman for the 1st down. They're very close to it. He's right on the marker at the 29-yard line. Boy, Kaufman had to know where that 1st down marker was because he stepped right on it. 1st and 10, Green Bay. One of the more underrated tight ends in the National Football League.
Yeah, they haven't thrown to him the last couple of games so much, but earlier in the season they were. Hector Gray almost came up with an interception. It's a good thing that pass was perfect because he could have gone right down the sidelines.
Kaufman, a great find for the Packers as a free agent several years ago, and he has really blossomed. Lofton to the left side, Jefferson to the right. First and 10, Packers from the 30. Nice fake. Dickey going to Lofton, who can't hold this one. Hit by Gray as he caught the football. That's a catchable ball.
Yes, it was really a good call too, a 1st down play, and if the execution is correct as far as the ball getting there, you can't stop that play. Gray can't stop it, and the ball should have been caught. It should have been another 1st down for Green Bay, but it was a 1st down play action pass, and when you got Jefferson and when you got Lofton, you got to do that kind of thing, especially if you haven't got a great running game. I mean, this game is turning to passing. The winning teams throw, throw, throw in the NFL nowadays.
2nd and 10. English almost jumped offside for the Lions. Ellis up the middle, crosses the 35 out to the 36. It'll be 3rd and 3 as Steve Furness filling in for the injured Bubba Baker. Making the stop. Packer injury and hurting right there. Number 76, Tim Stokes. Now, he came into the game with a groin pull, and there was some question over whether or not he was going to be able to play. Sustained the injury in practice this week, but he did say he'd give it a try, and that may be the same problem.
Well, that would mean Concore would probably come in, who hasn't gotten along with Bart Starr all that well the past 2 or 3 weeks.
Concore walked out of a team meeting a couple of weeks ago. Eventually came back, was fined. Did not play well in a brief stint last week against San Francisco.
They're checking the knee, so this is not, I don't believe, the groin situation. When you see the trainer who starts bending it back and forth, then you know they're checking to see how much, if there's any ligament stretching, and if the ligament is stretched, then there's going to be give there in that knee joint.
I want to remind you again about the big fight coming up next Saturday on CBS Sports Saturday. Former WBA lightweight champion Sean O'Grady and hard-hitting Andy Ganigan. rated as a leading contender by the WBA. Be ringside next week at 4:30, 3:30 Central on CBS Sports Saturday. Frank Lieber along with Johnny Morris. We've got 3 minutes and 53 seconds left to play in the opening period here at the Pontiac Silverdome. Score is tied at 7-all. The Lions on a 6-yard bootleg by Eric Hipple, and Green Bay countering on a 75-yard touchdown pass from this man, Lynn Dickey, to wide receiver James Lofton.
Mark Concour is in the game. He will be playing at the left tackle spot, as Dickey was banged up a little bit last week too. He took a solid shot and seems to be okay. Green Bay's offense 0 for 10 on third down conversions last week. 0 for 10. Now let's see. It's 3rd and 4.
Ball is at the 36-yard line of the Green Bay Packers. John Jefferson in motion. Dickey dumps it off to Ellis, and Ellis has got it up for the first down, and we've got a marker drop behind the line of scrimmage, as Dickey may have been victim of a late hit, and Dickey is down.
Well, William Gay came around from the left side. He got around Concour and almost looked like he was offsides. That Gay really gets off the line of scrimmage, and I don't know. I think it might have been Gay that put the hit on him.
Looks like he got a shot on him in the small of the back, and the officials think it's late. Here comes Bart Starr out from the Packer bench to take a look at his quarterback. Of course, his backups are David Whitehurst, who played last week, and the rookie Rich Campbell. It is Whitehurst who begins to loosen up immediately. You thought prior to the game that if they need another quarterback today, they might take a look at Campbell, who hasn't played at all thus far in the regular season.
Well, that was my guess, that they might want to take a look at him. They drafted him pretty high, and they might want to see what he can do, but it looks like they're going to go with Whitehurst if Dickey can't play. Let's check the penalty.
Roughing the quarterback, number 79, 15 yards.
Well, a 15-yard penalty is a small price to pay for a starting quarterback in the National Football League, and Dickey, as you can see, is still prone. Boy, he has had the problems down through the years. I mean, you talk about courage. This guy's come from a couple of crippling injuries. There's the man who made the hit, Bill Gay, number 79. The only thing that Dickey really lacks is mobility, and I think that's as a result of the early hip injury that he had, the broken leg he has suffered. He's had dislocated shoulder.
Well, look at it to the left. Watch 79 come from the left part of your screen at the bottom here. He gets by Concour, then the pass is off, and here comes the hit, and it was definitely a late hit.
Yeah, the pass was almost to the receiver.
Gay could actually see the ball flying through the air, and he still hit him, so uncalled for.
So Whitehurst conferring with his coach, Bart Starr, pretty fair quarterback in his day as well. He was in the traditional pat on the backside. Get in there and get that offense cranked up.
Whitehurst is the most mobile of the Packer quarterbacks. That getting back to Dickey, obviously it's around the neck and the back, and that's where he was hurt last week. So it could be a reoccurrence or maybe a further damage of the same injury he had last week. As you see, Washington leading New England 7-6 in the first quarter. That's a AFC-NFC matchup.
They're asking for a stretcher. Although Dickey is on his feet.
He's on his feet. It could have been just a tremendous whiplash off the sore neck from last week, and that's got to be painful as heck. I don't think we're going to see him the rest of this football game.
He came into the contest with a jammed neck that he suffered last Sunday against the San Francisco 49ers. Whitehurst, of course, once upon a time was the Packers starter at quarterback. Might recall several seasons ago he had a tremendous Monday Night Football game against New England. Eventually lost his job to Dickey. That's what Dickey's done so far, off to a good start with 4 out of 6 for 97 yards. But he waved off the stretcher. I think he saw the stretcher coming. He popped up.
He seems to be moving a lot better, so maybe he's going to be okay.
And David Whitehurst will get the call. That's what he has done career-wise so far. Not that busy this year.
Green Bay, number 17, David Whitehurst. The Packers first and 10.
Okay, Green Bay has a first down situation. We're still trying to pick up the tenor of this game as far as the Packer offense. Let's see if they throw on first down. It's the best down. You're going to get less problem. Now, here's Tunney coming over to talk to Monty Clark, and I think he may be saying something about Gay's hit, because it was definitely a late hit. And he may have
Gay's listening in
ejected
there.
him from the game, possibly. I don't know.
That's Gay, number 79, on the left side of your screen. He wants to hear what Tony's talking about. That could get you a pretty good fine if they send that film to the league office.
Now, here's Dickey throwing the ball, and Gay is still a couple of yards from him. Now, if he can't tell that the ball is gone, then he doesn't have too good a vision. And then he comes in with the hit later on, so it's definitely a penalty. The question is whether they'll kick him out of the game. I think they are.
Curtis Green, number 62, is coming in. And apparently, we don't have it officially yet, Gay has been ejected from the game by the referee.
The personal foul on number 79 was disqualifying, and he is removed from the game.
I think it's the right thing to do. It's the only way you're going to stop those kind of late hits like that. You get a guy out of the game, he sits on the bench, and he won't do it the next week because it was uncalled for.
Fans obviously don't like it. 1st and 10. Green Bay Packers at the Detroit 44. Ellis takes the handoff and is jammed up at the line of scrimmage by, among others, Curtis Green, who just replaced Gay. He and Furness having a hand in that tackle.
You know, it turns out to be kind of a critical ejection for the Lions because with Baker hurt, they haven't got all that many defensive linemen available.
Pickup of a yard by Ellis at his 2nd down 9. The Lions go with the 5th defensive back in Alvin Hall. Jefferson in motion. Dickey. Big rush. Flushed out of the pocket. Flag is down as the pass is intended for Huckabee, as he really got the rush put on him that time. Purifoy was all over the place and holding against Green Bay will be the call.
They may call it on Greg Cook, number 68, the right tackle right here. Let's see if he holds Purifoy or clips him. I didn't see a penalty there, but Purifoy was really putting the pressure on Dickey. Any way you look at it, there was a penalty against Green Bay. They didn't do anything right.
On Whitehurst, if I may correct you.
I'm Whitehurst, excuse me.
Holding 69, 10 yards, still 2nd down.
So move it back into Green Bay's end of the field to the 47-yard line. The penalty was on Leotis Harris. Second down, 19. Packers at their 47. Crowd still noisy about the ejection of Gay. And the Packers apparently having some problems hearing the signals call. The center, Larry McCarron, indicating to the official he can't hear Whitehurst, who is back 5 yards from him in the shotgun.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit different. If the quarterback was up over him calling the signals, McCarron could hear fairly easily, but with the quarterback way back 5-6 yards, it makes it tougher for him to hear the snap signal. So he has a legitimate beef there as far as wanting to be able to hear the signals.
Of course, you know as well as I do that all that does is spur the crowd on.
That's right.
And they'll be even louder yelling when they come up to the line of scrimmage this time.
Well, they'll eventually wind down.
Second and 19. McCarron calling time again.
Well, it gives the fans a chance to have a good time now. If they do it a couple more times, then they'll have to threaten a penalty, and then everybody will quiet down. But what the heck? Nobody's in a hurry. It's Sunday afternoon, good time at a football game, right?
Absolutely. Of course, eventually you almost have to run a play to get them quieted down, because now the fans figure they're in it, right? That they have a hand in this thing, and they can influence what happens by their booing.
Okay, it's probably going to be louder than ever now. Now they're going to let them go.
Well, they're also running it from the tee instead of the shotgun.
The fans had a hand in the Packers' strategy. They forced them into the regular T formation.
Whitehurst stopped behind the line, back at the 40-yard line for a loss of 7 yards on the play.
Well, Curtis Green, Dave Purifoy, and you got to give one sack for the crowd on this one. As Whitehurst went back in the pocket, and here they came. Curtis Green, Purifoy hustled. English was in on the tackle. Everybody gets a share of that sack, a third for each one of the players. And if we can think of another third, if you can get 4 thirds, let's give one to the Lions fans, because they did force the Packers to change their strategy, kind of rattle them a little bit. Now they're into a third down, a long situation.
3rd and 26 for the Packers at their 40. That is the 30th sack allowed by the Green Bay Packers offensive line. Wider says enough of this.
He called a delay of game against Green Bay for too much time. I can't believe that call. I don't understand it.
There's Zeke Bratkowski sending in the reinforcements.
31 from the Green Bay Packers, 35.
The only thing I can figure is that they ate up 30 seconds on there. I didn't think they had taken that much time in the huddle.
Turdell Middleton came into the ball game. He's coupled with Ellis and a running back. It is now 3rd and 31 with the ball at the 35-yard line of the Green Bay Packers. Middleton up to the 37 for a pickup of 2 yards. Curtis Green made the stop, and I think Green, who came in for Gay, has been in on just about every play since he's been in there.
Well, he got a chance to play, and he's going to take advantage of it. That time he really hustled, caught the play from behind. The Packers will be forced to punt in a drive that really wound up being Zippo for Green Bay. And Stankiewicz has had some problems in the last 3 games. He's starting to kick a lot of line drive kicks, and that's when you out-kick your coverage, you're asking for trouble.
His last punt was only 33 yards. He was a top draft choice of the Packers out of Michigan State University. That's a good one.
There's a good high one.
Robbie Martin inside his 10, takes it at the 8, back to the 15, and stops short of the 20-yard line. So the Lions offense will put it in play from there as the tackle again made by Randy Scott.
It will probably come back, and Dickey, they're going to wait and see. It is his back.
Eric Hipple at the throttle. Bessie takes the handoff out to the 10, picks up 5 before running into Rich Wingo, number 50.
That's Wingo.
It's a fine set of linebackers the Green Bay Packers have, and Anderson, Wingo, Cumbie, and Douglas.
2nd and 5, Detroit 10.
Bessie, the Lions' current all-time leading rusher. But as we mentioned a couple of weeks ago when he worked the line game in Denver, the way Billy Sims is going to take him about 3 years to do what Bessie's done in about 8. 2nd and 5. Hipple to Kane. And Kane's got a first down at the 15-yard line. Oh, he runs hard. Cumbie made the stop. Rick Kane, mostly a fill-in for the Lions thus far, but a handy man to have around. There's Hipple looking to the sidelines, looking for the next play. But the clock is going to run out, looks like. Period is ended. That seats a little over 80,000, and of course will be host for Super Bowl 16 come January 24th on CBS. Lions have the football as we start the 2nd period of play. 1st and 10. Ball is at the 15-yard line. Score tied at 7. Hipple in the first period. 4 out of 5 for 53 yards. Tony Scott in motion across the backfield. Here's Hipple. Leonard Thompson trying to concentrate on staying in bounds and catching the ball. And couldn't do it. He was open.
Yes, he was. He made a nice move, too, as he drove Mark Lee off and then came back on the deep out pattern. And Hipple put it right there. And he could not hang on to the football. Come on, Leonard Thompson.
2nd and 10. Thompson, who caught that 94-yarder last week, which is the 3rd longest reception in Lion history. They'll never beat the longest because that was a 99-yarder. motion. Hipple with a blitz. Dumps it off to Kane. Kane is hit at the 20 and dragged out of bounds at the 22-yard line by Maurice Harvey. For an NFL update, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York. What would a Sunday be without upsets in the making? And that's certainly one. Minnesota and St. Louis. Third down. Our score, Green Bay 7-7. Lions need 3 for the first down at their 22. Freddie Scott. First down at the 35. Nothing fancy about that.
Well, there was something a little bit fancy about it because of the fact that Scott came back in motion and McCoy had to cover him all the way across the field. He's running along the defensive line, and then a quick pass to him, and that really gets a defensive back in trouble. That was really an excellent play. There wasn't much McCoy could do about it. He had to follow him in motion and then react off of it, and the pass was perfect. First down, Detroit.
Second catch for Scott today. The two have been good for 45 yards. Lions first down at their 35. Hipple operating like a cool customer. 4th-round draft choice last year out of Utah State. Rick Kane on the carry, trying to go outside. And good movement by Johnny Gray, who saw that play developing from the secondary and moved up. Slowed him down, and then Rich Wingo put him away. Short yardage picked up on the play. Little huddle on the Lions sideline. There's the looks like most of the defense.
Except there's Leonard Thompson. He's looking in there, taking a peek. He says, oh, no, that's not Thompson. That was number 38. Yeah, it was Thompson. The other Thompson.
2nd and 9. Lions at their 36-yard line. Hipple again under pressure, unloads, and this one is picked off. Maurice Harvey, 40, 50, 40, down to the 30 and out of bounds. That one really took off on Hipple. It was intended for the tight end, David Hill. Hill couldn't even jump for it. It was way over his head, and Harvey made a nice interception. So the Packers get great field position. They'll mark it at the 31-yard line of the Detroit Lions. That's where Green Bay will put the ball in play. Watch it again.
As you can see, the pass was way overthrown, and Harvey, just like a wide receiver, brought that ball in, dipped down the sidelines, dipped in, and then dipped out. Nice offensive type running, and finally a whole bunch of those linemen from the Lions came over and knocked him out of bounds. First down for the Green Bay Packers.
30 yards on the interception return. And the Packers threaten to take the lead for the very first time.
Let's see if the Packers try and strike quickly now. Sometimes after a big play, you try and continue it.
Whitehurst filling in for Lynn Dickey. Middleton caught at the line of scrimmage. Steve Furness making the stop. Furness, number 71. Spent many years in the trenches with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And gives Middleton a boost. Turdell has never really come back after that great 1,000-yard Pro Bowl season he's had. He's never quite been the same runner, though he's had a lot of injuries.
Yes, and he's coming off a hamstring injury, and as you know, it takes a long time for those to get well, but Turdell's in there. Let's see how he does.
2nd and 9. Lofton left, Jefferson right. Kaufman in motion. Whitehurst, sideline throw knocked down. He had Kaufman open at the 25. But it was batted down at the line of scrimmage. And again, it was Furness, number 71, who got the hand up and knocked it away.
Let's watch 71 as he'll come around here, and he watches Whitehurst and then just puts his hands up there. Good heads-up play by the defensive lineman. If you can't get there, then you reach up and you jump and you try and obstruct the quarterback's vision, and you might get lucky and bat the ball away, and that's what happened that time.
3rd and 9. Hector Gray facing off with Lofton on the far side. Jefferson on the near side, face-to-face with Alvin Hall. But they've got 2 men on Jefferson. Intended for the 3rd wide receiver who was in the game, Cassidy, and we get a late flag from Cassidy claiming pass interference, and I think he may have convinced the officials.
Boy, that was a good job by Whitehurst, because Olin was coming, Stan White was coming, the entire Detroit defensive line, everybody was after him. He got rid of the ball before being sacked, and we're going to have a penalty, I believe, against Detroit. At least Detroit is arguing the most.
It's against the Lions, and it'll move the ball down to the 27-yard line. Here's Jim Tunney, the referee, with the call.
Defensive pass interference, first down.
There he gets rid of the ball before taking the sack, and right up here, they're calling contact before the ball got there.
Hector Gray, number 26, guilty of the interference. First down, Green Bay, 27-yard line of the Detroit Lions. Jefferson in motion. Whitehurst looking for Jefferson. Goes over the middle instead to Kaufman. And the big tight end carries to the 17. Gary Cobb made the stop, as Whitehurst that time looked right at Jefferson, and at the last second went to Kaufman.
Right, and Green was coming. Number 62 almost got there in time from the backside, but Whitehurst got rid of it, and Kaufman does a pretty good job here, getting an extra 2 or 3 yards, and we're going to have a measurement for the first down. Kaufman, nice job.
Packers return home next week to take on Seattle. Detroit is at Los Angeles. Just enough. First down, Packers at the 17.
Green Bay, first and 10.
With St. Louis beating Minnesota, this becomes an even bigger game for these two teams. The Lions are 2 games out. If they could win, they would only be a game behind Minnesota. If the Vikings lose, and the same thing for the Packers, they're another game back, but they could get back in it and have a chance at least keep this season alive for them, because the worst thing you can do is have 6 or 7 games at the end of the season and not even have a chance to do anything.
First and 10. Packers driving for the go-ahead touchdown. Huckabee out of bounds at the 12-yard line. Former Michigan All-American, knocked out of bounds by Stan White. This is Huckabee's 4th game as a starter. He's done a nice job moving into the position vacated by injury, of course, when the Packers suffered a big blow. Eddie Lee Ivory going out for the year. Monty Clark exhorting his Lions.
That was another first down pass for Green Bay, so there is a little propensity to throw more on first down. Zeke Bratkowski, who signals in the plays. Let's see what he signaled in this time.
On 2nd and 5 from the 12, it'll be Gary Ellis down to the 10 for a couple of yards. Ellis, the Los Angeles cast-off, picked up by the Packers, and a real bargain as a free agent last year. Had some fumble problems in the past, but nevertheless, very dependable football player. And last week, averaged better than 7 yards per carry against San Francisco.
Well, here's the key third down play. Last week they had trouble. Whenever they got down close, they couldn't put it over for the touchdown, and let's see what happens this time.
Jefferson off to the right, facing off with Wayne Smith. Hector Gray up against Lofton on the left side, the top of your screen, looking for Lofton deep in the end zone. Fourth down. Looked like Lofton had a little trouble fighting his way through the heavy traffic.
He was jammed momentarily. He was knocked a little bit off stride, and that was just enough so that he couldn't get there to get for the ball, because he was breaking open. The Packers are going to have to settle apparently for a field goal, and if anybody can get it, it's Stenerud. He's 11 for 13, and one of the misses hit the post last week.
This will be a 28-yard effort. Stankiewicz holding, and he drills it through, and the Packers take the lead. 11 minutes, 30 seconds left to play in the first half at the Pontiac Silverdome. Several weeks ago, he now has kicked more 50-yard plus field goals than any kicker in the history of professional football. Robbie Martin at the 7-yard line. Back to the 15, 20, and crunched at about the 25. Ball is loose. It was after the whistle. The play had been whistled dead. So the Lions will retain possession at the 25-yard line.
Okay, let's watch him as he goes in and hits all the traffic, and the officials ruled that he was down before he fumbled the ball. And I don't know, through all this mass of humanity, whether we'll be able to tell, but anyway, it's Detroit's ball, first down.
At the Lions, 25.
And I was just looking at the figures. You know that Lofton almost has 700 yards and pass receptions. The season's not even half over yet.
That's right. This, of course, is the halfway mark of the season. 8th game. 1st and 10. Lions from their 25. Hipple under pressure. Gets rid of it. Bussey, 25-30. And up to the 41-yard line. And Hipple with a great job as he was going down, delivering the football accurately to Dexter Bussey as the Lions pick up a first.
The Packers were coming. You're going to see Anderson right here. He waits. The screen sets up. Anderson blitzing from that zone where the pass goes to. And there's Bussey. And he has Russ Bollinger out there in front, gets the block. And finally, Maurice Harvey knocks him down, but not before he gets a first down for the Lions. Eric Hipple doing very well.
Good solid hit for Harvey. And a first down with the nose of the ball just beyond the Detroit Lions 40-yard line. Got an official timeout being called here with 10 minutes and 41 seconds left to play in the first half. Hipple is 7 out of 10 for 89 yards.
I was talking to him before the game, and he said that he's been getting phone calls all week from people who didn't even know that they were still around. All of a sudden, they saw him on national television, and so everybody wanted to give him a phone call. He did so great.
It's amazing. A week ago, no one had ever heard of Eric Hipple outside of Detroit, maybe. And now everyone in the NFL knows who he is. Just in the second year, 24 years old, bearded boy wonder from Utah State, counting for 6 touchdowns Monday night against the Bears. Rick Kane takes the pitch, goes outside, and is knocked out of bounds by Mike Douglas.
Good play by Douglas, who had to fight his way through to get in on the tackle. As you look at Cleveland over Baltimore, 21-0. And I guess Sipe is pretty hot. He has 3 touchdown passes. 1 to Newsom, 1 to Pruitt, and 1 to Logan. That's not too bad a day.
Hey, a cruel cut I saw the other day on Burt Jones. You used to call him the Rustin Rifle. Someone's now calling him the Rusting Rifle. He's had his problems. Of course, it's more than a one-man game. 2nd and 8.
The Packer cornerbacks are up tight.
Kane sweeping the left side this time. Runs out of bounds at midfield. Very close to another first down.
What a nice block by Homer Elias, too, as he pulled out of his guard position. You're going to see number 61. Watch 61 right out here in front. And he is going to look for the first white jersey, and he spots it and throws a nice block there, allowing Kane to get to the outside and get some yardage.
Not quite enough for the first down. It'll be 3rd and less than a yard. Kane with 10 carries has 47 yards, averaging just under 5 yards per carry. Packers leading 10-7. Just over 10 minutes left in the first half. Kane driving for the first down. Needed a yard, and that's just about what he got. Rich Wingo making the stop.
It's going to be very close, very close. He might have been a touch short.
Again, it depends where they spot it. See Pat Harder, the official, putting the ball down. And they'll bring in the chains.
Yes, short.
Still short. 4th down. Decision time for Monty Clark.
Well, a couple of other situations earlier in the season against Denver. He went for it.
And he caught a little flack because they tried it twice in critical situations. Didn't make it either time. And here's a 4th down from midfield, less than a yard. And he doesn't have Sims in there going for him right now, as he did in that game. Sims was having a great day.
Now, whoever it is has to get up and over. If they don't quarterback sneak it, that back's got to get up high and get over. Oh, going outside.
Big hole. Easy first down and then some at the 45 of Green Bay. Well, the Packers, doing a little guessing, figured they'd come up the middle, and so left the flanks vulnerable.
You talk about some wide open spaces. If Johnny Gray hadn't made a good tackle here, Kane would have got a lot more yards. You see Bussey out in front, but Gray makes a dive and brings him down. A heck of a play by Johnny Gray to prevent that play from going a lot farther.
It is 1st and 10 for the Lions at the 45. Of course, they forget those 4th and 1s you make.
Monty won't forget it. He'll remember that.
Scott in motion. Hipple hands to Bussey. Bussey bounces off a tackle at the line of scrimmage. Fights his way for a yard. Took some pretty good punishment. Again, Douglas, 53, and Wingo, number 50, in the stop.
Watch Douglas, 53, straighten up Rick Kane, the lead blocker, right there, and then bounce off the block by 32. Here's 53, and still gets in on the tackle and bangs people around a little bit. You got to give Bussey a little credit for keeping the legs moving. Finally, Anderson and Wingo get in on the tackle, but it was Michael Douglas who really jammed that play off. He is tough.
He has got to be the most active linebacker I've seen this year. He's everywhere. 2nd and 9. Lions from the Packer 44. Blitz over the middle. Leonard Thompson. Pass was a little bit low, but obviously very catchable.
That's a couple for Leonard that he has dropped that he should have had, and that one he would have caught in stride and might have been a big gainer for him like he had last week.
Thompson heads back into the huddle on 3rd down and 9. There's the way the 3rd down conversions look to this point. Hipple has hit 7 out of 11 for 89 yards. Obvious passing situation here. Scott wide to the right side. Mark Lee goes over to pick him up. Thompson is split to the left. Harvey covering him. Hipple, look out. Dragged down behind the line of scrimmage. A lot of pressure that time by the Green Bay Packer defensive line, particularly Ezra Johnson, number 90, who made the sack possible.
They had the 4-man rush that time, did a little trick, a little game, and Johnson was able to get through. As you look at Billy Sims, number 20, watching this game, wishing that he could be in there. But that a toe injury is very difficult when it's in the joint like that, because especially for a running back. And he's been mostly running on the stationary bike. He's had brings a stationary bike out to practice and just rides the bike and watches.
Mark Lee anticipating the punt here from Skladany on 4th down and 21. His last kick was 51 yards. Well, Lee took a little bit of a chance there. That could have been a fumble very easily. Great job by Leonard Thompson, number 39, who got down there like a bullet. They're going to have to slow him down a little bit. Timeout here at the Pontiac Silverdome. Lion and her cub, I guess. Lion mascots, Green Bay with the football. 1st and 10 at their 17-yard line. David Whitehurst is the Green Bay quarterback. In case you joined us late, Lynn Dickey was hurt. Victim of a late hit. Huckleby, nice catch. And fights hard for an extra 2 or 3 yards before Wayne Smith, number 44, makes the stop. Whitehurst in there because Dickey was decked by a late hit by William Gay, so flagrant the officials ruled that Gay was ejected from the game. There's the line bench and a little blackboard strategy.
We didn't get to see that play, did we?
Green Bay 23.
Pickup of 6 on the pass play. It is 2nd down 4. Packers at their 23. Jefferson to the right side. Lofton to the left. Ellis, the ball carrier. Green slowed him down behind the line of scrimmage. Did a pretty good job getting out of his grasp, and it took Hector Gray to finally shove him out of bounds. Turned a loss into it turned out to be a 3-yard gain and near a 1st down. Bart Starr in his 7th year in the National Football League. I was doing some checking the other day on Bart Starr as we look at some other scores here. Tom Landry started, he's about as patient man, I guess, as Landry. When Landry started with Dallas, the expansion team, it took the Cowboys 7 years before they won their first divisional title. It was that long. So it doesn't come easy. Of course, he didn't start exactly with an expansion team. 3rd down 1. Huckleby fights for the 1st down. 31-yard line, 1st and 10. Wayne Smith, 44 in the stop.
And a great block by Ellis, 31 on Fantetti, 57. Watch, the hole is there. Ellis keeps it open because he collides with 57. Fantetti knocks him out of the hole, and that allows Huckleby to get through and get the 1st down. Good blocking by Ellis before finally they bring him down, but that's the way it's supposed to be done. One back blocks for the other.
Huckleby is sneaky strong. He doesn't look as strong as he is, but he can drag people a few yards. 1st and 10, Packers at their 31, just over 6 minutes left in the 1st half. 10-7 Green Bay. Huckleby again. lost the ball. Who got it? Detroit.
Well, we have an opposite situation this time, as Ellis was leading through this time, and he couldn't find anybody. He was tentative, and you're going to see 57. There's 31 blocking. Now, who's he going to hit? He ends up hitting nobody, and then here comes 57. Fantetti to help knock the ball loose, and then the Lions recover. So it's not what you did for me yesterday, it's what you do for me right now. And Ellis gets 100% one play, the next play he gets 20%.
Enthusiastic fans here at the Silverdome as the Lions get a big break. First down at the Packer 33 as a result of the turnover. Lions have turned it over a couple of times. The Packers once. On the delay, Kane is popped at the line of scrimmage. Ezra Johnson really belted him, number 90. Ezra starting at a defensive end, actually alternating with Casey Merrill, as the Packers call him co-starters.
Yes, sir. He's a very good pass rusher. He's been playing some pretty good football. When he gets in there, he doesn't eat hot dogs on the sidelines anymore.
Little needle there, John.
There's New England 15-7 over Washington. I thought I'd get some kind of rise out of you.
2nd and 10 from the 33-yard line of Green Bay. Eric Hipple back to throw for the Lions. Little swing pass out to Bussey. Bussey gets a little, but not much. Down to the 31, pickup of 2. And that man, Mike Douglas, is there once again. Number 53 to make the stop. Dexter Bussey, veteran out of the University of Texas at Arlington. It'll be 3rd and 8. Nichols comes in with the next play. And Leonard Thompson comes out, so does Bussey.
Bussey does a pretty good job. A lot of times if you have a back like Sims, you like to have a big bull fullback, the guy that can get you that 2 yards, 3 yards, and can block real well for a scat back like Sims. Bussey's had to make the switch over, and he does a pretty good job, even though he's not as big as you might want to have a fullback.
Horace King is in the backfield replacing Bussey. On 3rd and 9, Hipple wants to call timeout. Saw something he didn't like.
He saw 11 men on the line of scrimmage. I wouldn't like that either.
Time put of the whole Green Bay team. Lynn Dickey, who was injured earlier, has his senses back again. It was a back injury, or at least he got hit in the small of the back by Gay. 3rd down 8. Big play for the Detroit Lions in this drive from the Green Bay 31-yard line. Hipple with good protection. Hits David Hill. First down. Lions will retain possession as the fumble occurred after he was down.
Douglas on the tackle. Maurice Harvey went for the interception, but the ball was just up and over and allowed Detroit to keep this drive alive. A 4-man rush. They were in the 4, the nickel. And you're going to see Hipple just put the ball just up and over enough as Harvey went for the interception, 23, and it was 53. Douglas who made the tackle, and he was on the turf before he fumbled the ball. Good call by the officials.
Well, Hill's got to love the action he's getting today. That's his 4th catch here in the first half. He's been virtually ignored as a weapon, it seems, in recent weeks by the Lions. 1st and 10 from the 23. Hipple. Pass is tipped and almost intercepted. At the 5-yard line, the receiver was knocked down, or went down hard at the 5, Freddie Scott.
What a great play by Anderson. John Anderson goes back into his zone. He looks back at the quarterback and then turns and puts his hand up. You're going to see Scott. Here's 59 in front, and he turns at the last second and batted the ball away. Otherwise, it would. Ooh, look at the hit that
That's
Scott
Thompson
took afterwards. Thompson took afterwards.
It was Harvey,
It
number
was Scott.
23. Harvey hitting Freddie Scott, who shook off the cobwebs. 2nd and 10 from the 23. Scott in motion. They go back to the running game, which has been very productive so far. And Kane takes it inside the 20 to the 18 before being hit by Rich Wingo.
The Alabama man. There's Giants and Atlanta 7-7 in the 2nd quarter.
3rd and 7 from
Tampa Bay, Philadelphia 7-7. That game also in the 2nd quarter. Jaworski threw a pass to Krepfle to tie that game up after Doug Williams had scored on a 1-yard run.
And our score, the Packers 10, the Lions 7. Just over 3 minutes left in the half. And the Lions threatening to at least tie it up, if not go ahead. Ball is at the 19-yard line, 3rd down 7. Hipple. A lot of time. Intended for Thompson in the corner pattern. He had Harvey in front of him, number 23, and Lee, number 22, behind him. So the Lions will have to settle for what would be a tying field goal.
Okay, you may notice the receiver. Watch the receiver. Thompson, he'll round his pattern off. You can't quite see it, but he rounds it off because Lee had him covered there deep, and they had the double coverage, short and deep, and pretty good coverage downfield by the Packers.
Hipple 9 out of 15 for 100 yards here in the first half. Eddie Murray again for the second straight year, one of the premier field goal kickers in the league, MVP in the Pro Bowl last year. This will be an effort from 37 yards. And we're tied. So the Lions get 3 points out of the turnover, the fumble by Huckleby.
And there's a special tee.
High kick and very short. Up to the 20-yard line, and that's it. Johnny Gray a little surprised himself to see that thing coming down in his neighborhood. It's almost like a punt.
You know, you can fair catch those if you want. I'll bet you didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Oh, very good.
Here's your first down statistic. Lions leading by 4. Keep in mind the Packers have been able to stay with most people for the first half in most of their games. They've had most of their problems in the second half. They've been outscored in the second half 109-39. In the first half, they've outscored their opponents 70-44. Officials have marked it at the 19. That's where Green Bay starts this drive. Whitehurst pass is picked off. Intended for Lofton, and Ken Fantetti, number 57, stepped in front of him. And the turnover bites Green Bay again.
He must not have seen Fantetti, as you're going to see Lofton go down the field and then turn in. Now, that's when the ball should be there to the outside, but it was more thrown to the inside. He thought Lofton was going to go across a little bit. Lofton just hooked in, and Fantetti came in for the interception, a big play. Curtis Green really put pressure on, too. Number 62 just banged Concord right back into the quarterback, Whitehurst. So there was some action there, but it was Curtis Green who really gave Concord a job, and Whitehurst knows what happened. He did not throw a good pass.
Lions with excellent field possession again at the 28 of the Green Bay Packers. 2.5 minutes remaining in the half, and Hipple comes out throwing. They rule it a completion, I believe, and then David Hill was knocked out of bounds. Let's see. Yeah, they will. Let's see. They'll bring it back or not. I couldn't tell if they ruled it a completion, that he fumbled the ball out of bounds or not. It's a very short gain on the play, regardless.
Well, they have the new rule now for receivers, as opposed to last year. If he comes down with his feet on the ground with the ball, even though he doesn't maintain possession throughout, they call it a complete pass. Now his feet come down, and then the ball is knocked loose. So.
Well, they brought it back to about the 28, right?
Okay, well,
that would have been at the 26.
Judgment.
It would have been just a 2-yard gain. Hipple again in trouble behind the line. Ezra Johnson drags him down. And now the Lion fans are unhappy, thinking that Johnson took advantage of their quarterback, since Gay was ejected earlier for the late hit on Dickey. It'll be 3rd and 15. Loss of 5 on the play, back to the 33.
Leonard Thompson, who's great on those reverses. You don't suppose they'd come up with one of those right now on 3rd and 15? Probably not, because of the fact that you're liable to get a zone with the short man up on a zone defense, up on the line of scrimmage on the outside, which make it a little tougher to run a reverse. So
they're not going to get this play off. 2-minute warning. There it is. Of course, they run more reverses, don't they, than most teams?
They ran 33 reverses last year. They average about 2 a game, so that's pretty good.
About Bart Starr being under some heat. Monty Clark has heard the Boo Birds a few times this season, as the Lions have been struggling. Most people figured the Lions had an excellent shot to win the division this year, and they still have a shot, certainly at 3-4. Big play coming up on this drive. 3rd down, 15. Detroit from the Green Bay 33. Trying to untie this football game. And, of course, if they don't make it, this man will probably come in to try another field goal. Ed Murray. Packers working a stunt, and Hipple got destroyed. He was simply buried by Ezra Johnson just as he delivered the football. What a shot he took.
He also took one last week in the chest as he threw a touchdown pass. Let's watch for Ezra Johnson, number 90. He's going to come right there, boom, straight up, and got through. Slick and clean, and Hipple did a good job as far as getting the ball away, wouldn't you say?
I would say so. It'll be Hipple holding, and this will be a 50-yard try for Murray. He kicked 153 against the Bears, which was his career high. This one is no good. Off to the right. Looked like it had enough carry, but he just missed the right upright. So credit the Packer defense with an outstanding job after Green Bay's offense turned it over. And Detroit comes up with 0.
The defense certainly did respond. As you look at Eddie Murray, the Packer offense has fumbled 15 times this year, and several times has put the defense in a bind. Well, they were in a bind that time and held. So now let's see if the Packer offense can take some life from what the defense did.
Packers in their version of the 2-minute drill as an idle Billy Sims looks on. Of course, they say if they need him, they could use him. And the way this thing is going, they may need him yet from the shotgun. Reagan Whitehurst under pressure to Ellis. Sidesteps one man out to the 35, 40, and out of bounds at the 45. Good job by Gary Ellis. Hector Gray made the stop, but a nifty little move by Ellis on that first tackler. Left him grabbing air. That's a first down and a 12-yard pickup.
And Whitehurst does a good job of waiting until the last instant because English was right on him. And here's a nice move as Olam misses the tackle, and then Ellis takes it up the field to give him a first down before finally a host of tacklers knock him out of bounds.
Packers have all 3 of their timeouts left. They have a first down at their 45. Jefferson to the left side, Lofton to the right. Jefferson in motion. Cassidy is in there as well, the third wide receiver. Kaufman, the tight end, 40, 35, and down to the 33. A fumble on the play. After the whistle, Packers retain possession at the 34. Great job that time by Whitehurst.
Yes, it was. Under pressure, he goes forward in the pocket, and then he spots Kaufman. He wanted to throw. He spots Kaufman, who's going to run right over Wayne Smith. Right here, boom. Smith just didn't get through on his tackle, and Kaufman had enough speed to get away from it and finally knocked down and is down before he does fumble the ball.
And now the Packers use their first timeout to stop the clock. With 1:28 left to play in the first half, they have 2 timeouts remaining and a first down at the Lion 34. Regular quarterback who is drilled by William Gay in the first period and knocked out of the game. The preceding message, by the way, furnished by the National Football League. 1:28 left in the first half, and now it's the Packers who are trying to untie this football game. First down at the line 34. Whitehurst, good protection, rolls out of the pocket and overthrows Middleton.
They put a double team on Jefferson down the field, and he was trying to tell Middleton to go up the field. Whitehurst was hoping that number 34 out here would turn up the field and get beyond the defender here. So he wanted to throw the ball like that, but Middleton didn't turn up the field, so he just threw it up and over. So he was trying to get an ad-lib pattern out of Middleton on that play because the coverage was so good downfield.
2nd and 10. Packers at the line 34 with 1:22 left in the half. Green Bay still with 2 timeouts left, doing a good job thus far utilizing the 2-minute period. Whitehurst going long, intended for Kaufman, who can't quite reach it. The big tight end in the end zone was a step away from a touchdown. Of course, with guys like Lofton and Jefferson, you figure they're going to get the extra coverage.
I think he was surprised the ball was going to be that far down the field as Kaufman was looking back and then had to turn on the speed, and he went for him. He had about a step there on Wayne Smith. The ball was just a little bit too far, but it's a good pattern for the Packers to run. They throw to the tight end down the field. A lot of people don't do that anymore because they don't have tight ends that can get down the field. Kaufman can get down there. He's not the fastest, but when you set up a threat down the field, it helps your coverage, dictates the kind of coverage you're going to get from a defense.
3rd and 10 from the shotgun. And the line 34, the blitz is on, and Whitehurst is dead, loses the football, and the Lions recover. Oh, you could see that blitz coming from up here, and he never had a chance.
And Smith came from the inside of Green's pass rush. Whitehurst saw him coming and fumbled as he was going down. A pretty good call. Let's take a look. Now you're going to see 44. He'll come inside the tackle, and then Whitehurst had nothing to do but try and dip in underneath it. The ball got loose, and Detroit recovers. Was that Curtis Green that got it?
Looked like Green,
Yeah.
who's done a great job here in the first half, filling in for William Gay. So the Lions now still have a chance to get on the scoreboard with 1:10 left in the half. They have 2 timeouts left and now have the football at their 48. Hippo under pressure delivers. Caught. First down. Hill at the 30. You talk about pulling them down in heavy traffic. That's David Hill's 5th reception of the first half.
And they completed that into triple coverage. Hipple had to throw it right on the dime, and he did it. The pass protection was there. Johnson couldn't get there in time, and watch this. You're going to see all kinds of white jerseys. Just an up and over John Anderson. McCoy couldn't get there, and finally Hood makes the tackle. First down, Detroit.
Perfect job of threading the needle by Hipple, who dropped it right in there among 3 Green Bay defenders. First down. Lions at the Green Bay 30. Hipple, quarterback draw, 25, and down to the 21-yard line. They are now within the field goal range of Murray as Hipple gets a boost up, and the Lions will call time with 53 seconds.
He got a hit from Ezra Johnson, who played off his pass rush, and Hipple decided to run, so number 90, Johnson, put a pretty good hit on him.
So Hipple will have a word with his head coach, Monty Clark. Boy, this has turned around a couple of times. Lions were down here a moment ago, didn't score. Green Bay down to the other end, didn't score. And now it looks like the Lions. Next week, more exciting doubleheader football action on CBS. 49ers and the Steelers in an interconference game. You Chicago Bear fans will see the Bears take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Lions have 1 timeout left. Hipple looks right, goes back left. Almost intercepted by Harvey. Horace King, number 25, was the intended receiver, but Harvey had him all the way.
Harvey would have had an interception if King hadn't followed through and knocked him as he got the ball there. Pretty good play by Horace King to prevent the interception. And here comes Nichols in with the play. 48 seconds left, as you can see on the clock. So
now they got to worry about the first down, too. They're 3rd and 2 at the 21. 1 timeout left for the Lions. Pressure on Hipple. He gets it away. It is Hill at the 4. Out of bounds at the 3. 1st and goal.
what a nice soft touch he had on that one. Up and over. And it was only John Anderson was the only one on the coverage that time. I don't know where Harvey was, but Johnny Gray put the blitz on, so that meant that Anderson was going to have to cover, and you got that linebacker covering David Hill down the field. That's pretty tough.
So that, of course, stops the clock. They still have the timeout left. 42 seconds to go. The officials mark it at the 2. First and goal. The fake to Kane. Hipple looking over the middle. Almost pulled out. Incomplete. Again, he was looking for Hill. Hill wants pass interference. It didn't come.
Dexter Bussey had nobody within 25 yards of him. He was over in the left corner of the end zone, and he was all by himself. But Hippo, you know, when you're under the run, under the gun, and you got somebody running at you, sometimes it's hard to see, especially somebody way over to your left. But Bussey was really open on that play.
Coming into this game, David Hill had caught 11 passes. In the first 6 games, he's caught 7 here in the first half. Second and goal from the 2. Kane did not make it. have to use that timeout to stop the clock, which they do with 32 seconds to go. It'll be third down, goal to go from the 1. Also, Monty Clark has got himself surrounded by the field goal unit just in case, because if they don't make it here and the clock keeps running,
he might rush that 2 tries for the touchdown.
Hipple rolls wide open in the end zone. David Hill, his 8th catch of the first half.
An excellent call, because if you get a quarterback out there, you've got the defense in a bind on the runner pass. And that's what they did. As you know, he ran one in. This time he probably could have run this one too, but Hill was so wide open, and he had Bollinger out in front with 1 man to block. So here was Hipple's choice, whether to try and run, but he saw Hill wide open, so he just threw the ball, and Hill did the right thing, bring it right into the old breadbasket, take no chances. 8 receptions for David Hill.
For a total of 71 yards, Murray will hit the extra point. Hipple's completed 12 passes in the first half, and 8 have been to Hill. So the Lions reclaim the lead with 28 seconds left to play in the half. On the forgotten man of the Lions offense, David Hill, the big story here in the first half. He's caught 11 passes in the first 6 games. He's caught 8 here in the first half.
Watch Ken Calicut. See the one Lion way back? He wants to get a full head of steam. He's going full speed at the time, the impact of the kickoff.
Johnny Gray at the 25 up to the 30. And Gray takes it to the 38-yard line. That's a very unusual kickoff formation, where they have the 2 men stand almost 10 yards behind the ball and then take off and have a full head of steam just a step behind the kicker.
All right. They usually give that to men who aren't afraid to get knocked on your tea kettle, and Calicut is not, as you look at that drive. But he got down there and actually destroyed the return. He didn't make the tackle, but it's not a bad strategy if you got the guys that have the courage to face those 4 horsemen coming at you.
Turdell Middleton out to the 43-yard line. Packers appear to be content here to go into the locker room, trailing by 7. So time will run out before the Packers get off another play. An exciting first half of action here at the Pontiac Silverdome.
Almost 19 minutes for Detroit as to 11 minutes and 18 seconds for Green Bay. That usually tells pretty much the story of a football game. Turnover is pretty close. First downs 14-9. Total yards passing is close. Total yards, as you can see, 212 for the Lions.
David Whitehurst still quarterbacking the Green Bay Packers. Ellis caught behind the line, but fights his way forward for a couple of yards. Seems to me they've got to get the football to Lofton and Jefferson. Since they can't run it, Lofton and Jefferson each caught only 1 pass in the first half.
Well, I have to agree with you. That's the strength of the team. The running attack is not the strength of the team. And this old adage, I said it before and I'll say it again, I like the adage now in this day and age with the new rules to help the offense, is that you've got to pass to set up the run. And some teams still believe the old philosophy, you run to set up the pass, and Minnesota doesn't, San Diego doesn't, and those teams, they pass, and run a few draws, and they are winning football teams.
No one runs well against Detroit. They have the #1 rushing defense in the NFC. Second down 7. Whitehurst in trouble behind the line. He's going to have to run it, and he gets the first down out to the 40-yard line. Hector Gray finally makes the stop, as Whitehurst under a lot of pressure. Now, this is where the Packers have had their problems in the past in the second half.
Okay, they took the backs out. Whitehurst got the pressure and just took off, and he ran pretty nicely. Put his shoulder down here at the last second and got the extra yardage. Nice running. Looked like a halfback on that.
Detroit's defense got to be happy with the performance they're getting out of Green, filling in for William Gay, who was ejected a bit earlier. Green, their second-round draft choice, has been in the Green Bay backfield all afternoon. 1st and 10. Huckabee behind the line, didn't fool anybody. Stopped for a loss back at the 38 by Ray Oldham.
And the key was that Olam got across the line of scrimmage before number 69, Leotos Harris. Watch 69 throw the block. He's coming out here to the right, and Olam gets up outside of him and tackles Huckabee before Harris can do anything, and he ends up kind of watching the play. So that's the timing on a screen pass. It was all off. Good recognition by Olam as you look at Eric Hipple on the telephone thinking about what we're going to do when we get that ball.
He's talking to his offensive coordinator, Bob Schnelker, who is up here in the press box. Bob started the season down in the field with Monty Clark. Last couple of weeks he's been upstairs. The results have been impressive. Intended for Jefferson. He was double covered, had Allen over there. John Jefferson, not many people realize this, and of course being from Dallas I do, because John Jefferson played his high school football in Dallas. He went all the way through high school and his first year of college known as John Washington. In his second year in college he changed his name back to his real father's name. Washington was his stepfather's name.
There is Gary Danielson. He's up in the press box watching what's going on, and he has a couple of more weeks on injured reserve and then should be activated.
3rd down, 13. Shotgun formation. Whitehurst pummeled as he delivered the football, and again it was Curtis Green, number 62, who came charging through there, the rookie from Alabama State, really putting on a strong pass rush for the Lions.
Okay, watch number 62. He comes in from the outside and busts through 2 offensive linemen, and that was Larry McCarron trying to hold him off the last second, number 54, and he just put the clamp on Whitehurst. Pass blocking broke down on that one.
There's Stakowitz, averaging 44 yards on his 2 punts. Robbie Martin, 83, the deep man. Lynn Dickey, by the way, did not come out here in the second half. He is not seriously hurt, but he will not play anymore. Martin retreating inside of his 20 and dragged down at the 15, and we've got a flag. Randy Scott, number 55, and that's at least the 3rd tackle that this young man has made on the Green Bay special units. He is a real hustler.
There's a penalty.
Marker was thrown 7 or 8 yards in front of Martin, who caught the ball about the 23 and retreated to the 15, so he lost about 8 yards there, and apparently will lose more as the Lions will be penalized. They're huddling down around the goal line. This may push him back to around the 10 or thereabouts, maybe inside the 10. How about the 7?
7 1/4.
Tripping during the run back, number 45, half the distance of the goal line.
Foul is on Jeff Delaney of the Detroit Lions. Timeout being called here in the Pontiac Silverdome with Rick Kane. Anyway, back in the first half, he had doubled the entire Green Bay's rushing total. 1st and 10, Lions from their 7. Nice hole over the right side for Rick Kane. And Kane is out beyond the 10 to about the 12-yard line before being dropped by George Cumby, number 52, the Packer linebacker out of the University of Oklahoma. Kane filling in for Billy Sims. Sims has not seen action today, although he is suited up, and they say could play in an emergency. They'd like to get by without him. He's got a toe that he injured on a 4th and 1 play in Denver a couple of weeks ago. They held him out of the Bear game on Monday night.
In fact, he got hurt on the last play of the game, didn't he? This offensive play?
Last offensive play that the Lions had. 2nd and 5. Kane, this time caught behind the line of scrimmage. Excellent defense, and guess who? Mike Douglas, 53.
He just got around Homer Elias and did the job. You're going to see 61. The left guard pulls out, and he makes contact with Douglas, but doesn't get too much of a block. And Douglas plays off of it and makes the tackle, and that will send Rick Kane's yardage the other way, and the Packers going to catch up with him in rushing. Here's another look at it. As you can see, there's 61 trying to make the block on Douglas, who just does a super job of getting away and putting the clamps on Rick Kane. Douglas is playing like all-world the last few games.
This guy is not a Pro Bowl linebacker. I've never seen one. 3rd and 10. As the Lions are back to their 7, Hipple throwing out of the end zone. Sideline pass and tipped away from Freddie Scott at the last moment by Mike McCoy, number 29. Excellent defensive play by the Packers cornerback. So the Lions will have to punt out of their end zone. Tom Skladany. That's just about his average on the year, 45 yards.
The Packers have a good chance to get some field position this time. One man back. They have 10 men up at the line of scrimmage, which would appear they're going to go for the punt block.
Mark Lee is the safety man deep. They peel back, do not go for the block. Great punt from his 40, 45. Lee is at the 50 and into line territory, and we get a flag thrown, I believe. Now the tackle was made by Ginn, and the marker, I think, went against number 51. It may have been a clip on Prather off the Packers special unit, which will cost them all of that run back and perhaps a little bit more. Ken Calicut was shaken up for the Lions. He's down on the field, getting up slowly. A clip against the Packers.
There goes that field position.
There goes the old field
that we
position
were talking about.
See if we can see it as he goes to the sidelines. Well, they could have called it on Gray right there, number 24.
Boy, look at Calicut to the left there. Boy, he took a shot, and that's why he
Personal
was
foul
shaken up a little.
during the run back, tripping, 15 yards, one foul only on the play, first down.
They might have got 2 clips in there, but of course they can only penalize you 15 regardless of.
Inside position on Wayne Smith. Smith was right there, but the pass was perfect. Now you see 40 coming over Allen, and boy, he just dropped the ball, and then he had to take his punishment afterwards. So he had double jeopardy there. Drops the ball and then takes a hit and then slams that artificial turf. That's got to hurt the hand.
Second down 5 for the Packers at their 46-yard line. That would have meant a big gainer, if not a touchdown. Jefferson in motion. This one overthrown, intended for Lofton, who got a hand on it at the 30.
They're definitely trying to take a little advantage of Wayne Smith, 44, the corner over there. He's had some problems earlier this season.
Whitehurst is 7 out of 16 for 62 yards. Lions are a little weak in that secondary now, with James Hunter out with a broken arm suffered Monday night against the Bears.
So that's actually where their weakness is on the corners, and that's where the strength of the Packers are. Their offensive receivers are wide out. So let's see.
3rd and 5. Whitehurst, good protection this time. A great catch by Huckleby, and he picks up the first down at the Detroit 47. He was leaning to his left. The pass was to his right, as you'll see here.
You see Huckleby goes kind of inside outside as the receivers went downfield. He reached back very nicely to get that ball right there a little beyond the first down marker. Ray Oldham brought him down, but not before. Green Bay has a first down and a conversion on 3rd down.
Packers trailing 17-10. 8 minutes 45 seconds left in the 3rd period. First down. Green Bay at the Detroit 46-yard line. Whitehurst delivers to Huckleby at the 40, 35, and the former University of Michigan stars down to the 33, and another Green Bay first down. Cobb making the tackle. Nice to come home and look good.
Let's take a look at the defensive secondary. You can see the deep middle. You see the cornerbacks are playing off quite a ways with the linebackers in their drop. And then the back comes out of the backfield. The linebackers have to come up and react to it. Not a bad play there. You're going to get 5 yards, and he was able to get more out of it with some good running.
First down at the Lion 33. Fine drive that Green Bay's got working here. Started back at their 31. Whitehurst blitz. Pass complete to Kaufman. And the tight end is out of bounds at the 22. That's another Green Bay first down.
Now Kaufman on a wide pattern. They send the receivers downfield. Olam's got to come over from his inside safety spot and make the tackle on Kaufman. He was the only man there too. So the Packers are starting to hit him where it hurts. Pretty good play. And as they bring those backs out of the backfield, anytime you take the receivers downfield, as Zeke Bradkowski, and no, that's Bart. As Bart and Zeke Bradkowski call the plays, you take those receivers, the threats that they are, you bring the backs out in the flat, and you give yourself an option And then you do the same thing with the tight end. You can just pick a team apart. If you run your routes and you get the pass blocking, you've got to get the pass blocking.
1st and 10 from the 22. Whiter's got a good thing going here. Sideline throw sails over the head of Kaufman. He was well covered on the near side. Absolutely nothing there for him as Ray Oldham, number 23, was with him. Other scores: Atlanta and the Giants very tight in the 3rd period.
The Giants were 4-3 going into that game. If they could pull off an upset, they would be 5-3. Cleveland, Baltimore, the Colts making a comeback, 28-21 3rd quarter, and Denver leads Buffalo in a toughie 3rd quarter 7-6. Hey, Washington, the Redskins over New England now 24-15. What a bad year for the Patriots. They're 2-5 going in. Of course, Washington's only won 1 game, but they've played pretty good football.
They've had a lot of injuries. 2nd and 10. Our score 17-10. Lions over Green Bay. Packers trying to go for the equalizer. David Whitehurst, a rainbow into the end zone for Jefferson. Hector Gray, number 26, defending.
How would you like to be Hector Gray to have to come in for Hunter and cover people like Jefferson or James Lofton? As we take a look at the replay, they put a blitz on. Stan White was picked up, and here comes Jefferson back to the corner, and Gray was right there to make the play. Nice play, good camera coverage.
3rd down and 10 for the Green Bay Packers at the 22-yard line of the Detroit Lions. Lions defense digging in. Gray's going to have to look at Jefferson again as Jefferson comes out wide to the left side. Lofton is off to the right. He's got Alvin Hall covering him. Kaufman, the tight end, in motion. Whitehurst delivers, and it's almost intercepted. Allen, number 40, coming across in front of Jefferson to knock the ball down.
As soon as Jefferson started his move, he moved in a little bit closer to the tackle and came across the middle, and Allen used it as a key, and he headed right for Jefferson. They had that play pegged. They knew it was coming. They must have been able to key a little bit on Jefferson as he moved in a little tighter than he normally is.
Stenerud with a 39-yard field goal attempt. They'll make it an even 40. It's good. He's not getting older, he's getting better. That thing would have been good from another 10 yards. So the Packers get 3 out of the drive. 17-13 Lions. 2nd field goal. Getting ready to kick off for the Green Bay Packers. The Lions have 2 men deep. Alvin Hall on the left, Robbie Martin on the right. 7:28 left in the 3rd period. 17-13, tight one here at the Pontiac Silverdome. Alvin Hall, 30, up to the 35-yard line. And dropped at that point by Randy Scott, number 55, along with Estes Hood, number 38. Scott's been in a ton of tackles. 55.
Okay, let's watch him. He's not the first one down there, but he ends up making the big play and helping out anyway. Here he comes back across, gets in on the tackle along with Hood.
We get word from the Lion bench is that Ray Oldham has a strained knee, and that'll be a blow to the Lions, who are already short in the secondary. Straight handoff to Vince Thompson, number 38, seeing his first action of the afternoon.
Homer Elias and Rick Kane are talking to one another. They're trying to decide how they're going to get Douglas. They both were blocking on Michael Douglas, and he still jammed up the play and forced it outside. As you look at Vince Thompson coming off the field.
First-year man from Villanova. And a pickup of 7 yards on that carry. It'll be 2nd down 3 for the Lions at their 42. There's the book on Eric Hipple. Not quite as spectacular as last Monday night, but after all, Rick Kane, 1st down Detroit, as he hurdles to the 49-yard line. Rich Wingo, number 50, on the stop.
Did you see those Detroit linemen get out there that time? All 3 of them got out in front of the play. Dorney, Fowler, Elias were all out there.
It's a meeting of the minds. That's Floyd Peters, the gentleman with the glasses, defensive coordinator, talking over his strategy with his defensive charges. Look at Atlanta and the Giants tied now in the third period. Cincinnati and New Orleans.
Nothing at the half. You don't see that too often in the NFL anymore.
Our score 17-13 Lions. First and 10 from midfield. Blitz. Hipple got it away, and it's almost picked off. Harvey, number 23, tried to left-handed, one-handed.
Incomplete.
Ironically, had Harvey let that thing go by, there was nothing but white shirts around.
Yes, George Cumbie came blowing through there, and Hipple got rid of it nicely, but he almost got the interception. You're going to see Maurice. Here comes Cumbie, 52 right up the middle, and then 23. Maurice Harvey almost made the interception, and Hipple was watching the ball all the way as he was falling down. His head was looking downfield. He wanted to find out if they were going to have an interception.
Monty Clark surveying the action. Head coach of the Lions, 2nd and 10 from midfield. Scott in motion. Hipple looking for him and winds up running. Scott was well covered by Mark Lee, number 22, so he couldn't throw it. And wound up moving into Green Bay territory. Picked up 4 in the play.
Well, Mark Lee was burned on that play once before, as when he came out in motion, went to the outside like that, and that time he played it very well. Eric Hipple, 3 rushes for 18 yards, 1 touchdown today. Cleveland now ahead of Baltimore, 35-21. 4 touchdown passes for Brian Sipe.
3rd down and 7. Lions at the Green Bay Packer 47. Again, Scott in motion. Lee chasing him around the backfield. Hipple delivers wide open. Down at the 32-yard line is Vince Thompson. That's a first down for the Lions. Mike McCoy made the stop. Linebackers having a tough time keeping up with Thompson.
That's right. Thompson, you're going to see 50 here. Wingo, he's the one that's got a key on that man. You're going to see 50 getting out there late. There is Wingo, but the reception was already made, and then Wingo gets in on the tackle, as does Harvey, and the fans were booing a little bit because they thought it was a little bit rough, because boom, boom. That's, oh, gee. Mark Lee got in on that one.
That's called getting buried.
That's what you call gang tackling.
1st and 10, Detroit. Answering Green Bay's drive, which resulted in a field goal. Trying to get points of their own. Thompson, 20, 15, 10, 5, and down at the 2. Harvey and McCoy saved the touchdown. He broke several tackles along the way.
And there's your big bull type of a running back, a fullback that can pound his way in there, and he followed through and got the good blocking there. You can see Elias throwing the block, and then he broke away, and number 86 Nichols is downfield. He threw a block on Harvey. Watch Harvey try and steal the ball out here. Right there, he slaps for the ball to knock it loose, but no dice. Thompson hung on to the ball. The Lions are down at the 2.5-yard line.
Thompson is 6 feet tall. He weighs 230 pounds. Horace King is in the lineup. 1st and goal, just beyond the 2-yard line. Kane hurdles into the end zone. Touchdown.
Both backs flew over the top. You see King right leading the way. He flies, and then comes Kane over the top. Wingo tries to stop him, and Maurice Harvey, but he had too much momentum. Gets in there for the touchdown. Let's take it again. Straight ahead, 25 first, then 32, and there's no way they can stop it. Touchdown, Lions.
Monty Clark.
He doesn't look happy, but he's got to be happy.
I would think so. 10-point lead now, and 11 if Murray tacks on the extra point, which he does. 3 minutes, 59 seconds left to play in the third period, and the Lions yards. And a little more than 3 minutes on the clock.
A classic example. I believe 2 of the first 3 plays were passes that weren't too successful. Then they went to the ground, so they used the pass, set up the run.
Eddie Murray kicking off. Mark Lee at the 5, 15, and stumbles forward to the 19-yard line.
Lee on the return to the 20.
First man through to hit him was Calicut, number 31. So let's see what the Packers can do on offense now. They have to keep matching Detroit point for point. They get too far behind. You know, you can say what you want about the Super Bowl being up in the north and being in Detroit in the middle of the winter, but they will not find a finer facility to play it in than this Silverdome.
I'll have to agree, and the press box is great too, right? Nice. 71 degrees.
Not bad.
Good view.
Sight lines are great. 80,000 seats. Ron Cassidy flagging down that throw by Whitehurst for a pickup of 6 yards. Cassidy, kind of the forgotten man of the Green Bay offense, with Lofton and Jefferson getting most of the publicity. He comes in on the obvious passing situations.
St. Louis now leads Minnesota 20-10 in the third quarter.
It's so amazing how a team can look so good in this league one week and the next week wind up getting beaten. It's happened to most everybody.
Wayne Morris scored for the Cardinals.
2nd and 4. Turdell Middleton turns it upfield and gets the first down for Green Bay. Out to the 33, Ken Fantetti.
There's an example. Excuse me, Frank. There's an example of you get that 5 or 6 yards on the first down, then you got a 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3, and you got the defense in a bind. Then the runs are going to work for you. So the key is, I think everybody knows that you got to get yourself 5+ yards on that first down, and then you can do just about what you want because you got the defense in a bind. They don't know which way to gear the defense.
1st and 10. Green Bay Packers at their 33-yard line, trailing now 24-13 late in the third period. Whitehurst off to Turdell Middleton, and Middleton down at the 40-yard line after an advance of 6 yards. Hector Gray makes the stop. We get word from the Detroit bench that Steve Furness has been injured and is being tended to in the locker room. And this man, number 64, Larry Lee, who is an offensive lineman out of UCLA, a rookie, is now playing in the Lions defensive line. And of course they lost Gay. He was ejected earlier. Bubba Baker is out with an injured toe. They're running out of linemen.
Yes, they are. And the Packers have another second and 4 situation.
Whitehurst for Jefferson. Hung on to this one. And a first down at the 46-yard line of the Detroit Lions. Wayne Smith made the stop. Good catch here.
Yes, down on the quick post. Turns in. Wayne Smith can do nothing about it. He has to come up and make the hit and hope that he can jolt the ball loose. And Jefferson hangs on. Now we have a 1st and 10. The key to this drive, we'll just see how they do. Let's see if they get those 5 yards. The type of play that gets you the sure 5.
Lions are taking volunteers to play in the defensive line with all the injuries they've had. Whitehurst fakes to the right, goes left, screen. Ellis, 40, 35, 30. Ellis breaks the tackle. He is gone. What a tiptoe job he did down the near sidelines.
Great individual effort by Gary Ellis. And Whitehurst faked the screen to the right. Oldham missed him right here. This was the key. A good block there by Goforth. And then here he busts the tackle. Jimmy Allen and Hector Gray both had him, knocked one another off. He did a nice dance down the sidelines, takes it in for the touchdown. The Packers are right back in this football game.
Some of the boos are coming as the fans look at the instant replay screen, and they thought perhaps that Ellis tiptoed on the sideline marker.
We'll take another look at it afterwards and see.
Stenerud with the extra point try. And with 59 seconds left to play in the third period here at the Pontiac Silverdome, it's beginning to heat up again. Lions 24 and the Packers 20. Out of bounds, or wasn't he?
Notice the official, Johnny Greer, is right there. You're going to see him come into view. He was looking right down the sidelines, and he had the best look at it of anybody, and he says it was in. So
that is quite a tightrope job by Gary Ellis. He got about as close as you could get. Stenerud's kickoff is high and short. Martin back to the 20 and hit at the 22-yard line. Maurice Harvey, number 23, in the stop for the Packers, who obviously pick up some momentum with that quick strike touchdown.
Lions first.
48 seconds left to play in the quarter now. Here's the book on the scoring drive, and the touchdown pass covered 46 yards to Ellis. Giants in front of Atlanta in the fourth quarter. Keep close tabs on that for you. First and 10. Our score 24-20. Lions. Kane almost falls down with the handoff. Winds up with 2 or 3 yards in the play. Gets it beyond the 25 to the 26, where Wingo makes the stop. That could be the last play we'll see here in the third period. Maybe not. NBA returns to CBS this weekend, as a matter of fact. Houston Rockets and the Los Angeles Lakers live from the Forum Friday night as the NBA season gets underway. Second and 5 and nothing for Thompson this time, as Douglas makes yet another tackle.
Boy, he ran right through Russ Bollinger to make that tackle. Great play by Michael Douglas.
That's the end of the third quarter with the score. Third down. 8 needed for the first down. Lions at their own 24 as we start the final period. Eric Hipple delivers, and it's caught for the first down. King, number 25, Horace King, who comes in on passing downs for Bussey, made the reception, and the Lions keep their drive going.
And that was pinpoint passing. Pinpoint, because Michael Douglas, 53, was right on the coverage here. He only had about a step on him, and that pass had to be up and over and perfect. Douglas makes a tackle, but not before King got the first down. Key play, a third down conversion for the Lions.
First and 10. Lions ball at their 34-yard line. Thompson is back into the lineup. That's Vince Thompson, and a running back in addition to Leonard Thompson, the wide receiver. Hill, the tight end, in motion. Hipple sets up strong, lets it go. It's complete again. Leonard Thompson loses the football, but it had been whistled dead back at the 40. So the Lions will retain possession with a first down at the Green Bay 39.
And one of the reasons for that play was the fact that Douglas came in on the blitz and fell down. So he was out of his coverage, pass coverage downfield, and it was not effective on the pass rush because of the fact that he slipped. So you're going to see Leonard Thompson go down the field. Only one linebacker, no linebacker there short. You see no linebacker short of Thompson right there at this point. That's because Douglas was gone and did not get there on the blitz. And there is the reception. And finally, it's McCoy and Maurice Harvey who bring him down. First down, Detroit.
Hipple is now 15 out of 26 for 168 yards. Oh, David Hill, the tight end, who caught 8 passes in the first half. Couldn't stand the prosperity there because he was so wide open. It was unbelievable. 2 quick scores. Philadelphia is in front of Tampa Bay in the final period by a margin of a field goal.
Oh, 24-22 now. Washington over New England, fourth quarter.
Our score 24-20. The Lions lead the Packers. Just over 13 minutes left to play in the football game. It is second and 10. Freddie Scott wide to the left side. Thompson, who is what they call a north-south runner. He just aims at the goal line and goes.
And they called the right play on this because the Packers blitzed up the middle and they ran off tackle. And then Thompson was able to come turn up the field and get some yardage. Good, tough, hard yardage. Thompson and Sims might make a real good combination. The big power runner like that.
If he can block,
Sims.
if he blocks as well as he runs.
There's Lynn Dickey in street clothes, so I think it's safe to assume we're not going to see him the rest of this game. Let's hope that it's not that serious.
Lions going to call timeout. They've got a third down and short yardage situation. 3rd and 2 coming up from the Green Bay 31, and Hipple wants to talk it over with Monty Clark. 1,638 tickets for this game. They've got 4,575 no-shows, so 76,000 plus are in attendance this afternoon. They've seen a fine football game. Lions and the Packers, with Detroit leading 24-20 and driving with a 3rd and 2 coming up at the Green Bay 31.
Burt Jones has thrown a touchdown pass to Ray Butler. It's now 35-28 Cleveland over Baltimore.
Sounds like a basketball score almost. That's what Eric Hipple has done so far. Big play in this drive on 3rd and 2. Hipple throwing on 3rd and 2 and throws it away. Intended for Norris, number 80, Ulysses Norris, who's the second tight end. And now it looked like it slipped.
Yes, that was just a pass that was off the mark, and Hipple's a little bit upset with himself. He's an emotional type of quarterback, and there's that score we just gave you, 35-28. So they'll settle for the field goal try as Hipple starts to count to make sure they got 11 men on the field.
Eddie Murray will try to do his thing, and this will be a pretty good shot for him. 48-yard attempt.
I don't think I'd ever have my quarterback be the holder. Somebody could really take a free shot at that guy holding the ball.
This would give the Lions a 7-point lead. No good. Hooked it off to the left. The momentum is not now with the Lions. Fine job by the Packer defense in holding Detroit without points. Ellis on 1st and 10 from the 31 takes it to the 34. Oh, we told you that the Giants have moved ahead of Atlanta in Atlanta. Now to show you how, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Frank, this is how they did it. Phil Simms pulled out. He had Perkins in motion. He'll throw to the right to the motion man. 12 yards. Giants lead. Now let's go back to Frank Lever.
Back at the Pontiac Silverdome, it is 2nd down and 6. Packers with the football at their 35-yard line. 11 minutes, 45 seconds left to play in the game, and the Packers down by 4. Pass is complete from Whitehurst to Ellis. He is short of the 1st down at the 39. Needed to net the 41. Ray Oldham making the stop. By the way, Furness is back in the game, which means that Lee, the young rookie offensive lineman, who's being pressed into service as a defensive lineman, has come out.
We have a 3rd and 2 situation. You remember what Bart Starr used to do all the time on 3rd and 2?
Drop back about 7 yards and let it go.
A play action pass, hit Horning or Taylor out of the backfield.
Ellis and Huckleby are the setbacks. Lions dig it in defensively. How about it?
He has Huckleby.
Well, he's got a 1st down. Huckleby at the 49-yard line. I think he was looking for more than a 1st down.
Yes, he was looking down the field. He had Huckleby as a safety valve. Huckleby was open for 3 or 4 seconds. Look at this score. Tampa Bay 10, Philadelphia 10 in the 4th quarter. Tampa Bay has just kicked a field goal from 29 yards out and tied the game. So Philadelphia has a chance of losing its 2nd straight game after going 6-0 to open the season.
As we said earlier, they may be looking ahead to Dallas next week. First meeting of the year between those two teams, which many of you will see on CBS. 1st and 10 from midfield. Whitehurst down the middle. Lofton with the reception, breaks a tackle at the 30 and fights his way to the 27. 1st down, Packers.
Boy, he boomed Jimmy Allen. Nice play. 1st down pass. 1st down pass. He had a back coming out in the flat that would have been open too. He goes inside the jam, then just turns, and Whitehurst hit him to the outside. And here's Jimmy Allen missing the tackle, and James Lofton gets a few extra yards out of it. Finally, it takes 5 of them to bring him down.
Ball is spotted at the Detroit line, 27-yard line. This crowd of almost 80,000 has quieted down quite a bit as the Packers are on the move for what would be the go-ahead touchdown.
The corners look to be man-to-man.
Whitehurst, who's had success throwing it, gonna run it. Takes it to the 20 and down to the 18. A pickup of 8 on the play. Ken Fantetti, number 57, making the stop. Whitehurst is 17 out of 29 for 205 yards. Again, if you joined us late, Lynn Dickey took a shot in the small of the back in the 1st quarter and was knocked out of the game. William Gay, the defensive lineman who administered the late hit, was ejected.
Okay, they got him in a good situation, 2nd and 2. What's the defense do? They got to play it both ways.
Ellis trying to pick up the first. Needed 2. Looked like he got 1. Curtis Green, number 62, doing a fine job jamming it up. And it'll be 3rd and 1. Lofton comes back into the game. There's Gary Lewis, number 81, a second tight end.
Bart looking at that short list. He's going to check out those plays. What have we run? What we haven't run? Let's turn it over and find a
3rd and 1.
good play.
3rd down, a yard or less for the first down for the Packers at the Detroit 17.
Zeke just signaled in the play to Whitehurst.
Keep in mind, Detroit is the toughest rushing defense in the NFL. Huckleby, Ellis, the setbacks.
Now let's see who they call this play on. Goforth moved a little bit, but whether it was in the reaction to the offsides, we'll have to see who that call goes against. But it looks like against the Packers, and somebody moved a little bit too soon.
That's the type of penalty that'll kill you.
Yes.
False start, number 57, still 3rd down.
It's against Goforth.
He is the first man you see from the right of your screen, 57, right there. He starts to move, and of course Doug English, a good defensive tackle, knows that when he sees that lineman move, get across that line of scrimmage, you're going to get a penalty call. Changes the whole situation now. 3rd and 6.
Ball is back at the 23-yard line. Packers trail by 4. Just under 8 minutes left.
Blitz.
Kaufman was the intended receiver. A flag is thrown down to the 5-yard line. It may be pass interference against the Lions. Kaufman was the short man, and Lofton was behind him. The ball landed between the two. Lofton was trying to fight his way toward the football and may have been interfered with. Jefferson trying to get in on the argument.
Okay, the Lions put a blitz on. Here's the play now. That's Wayne Smith trailing Kaufman. They're down the field there. They're calling interference probably on Gray, Hector Gray, because I don't think Wayne Smith did any wrong.
It's a pass interference, number 26.
Looked on the replay like Gray was almost throwing a block into Lofton, because Lofton got behind him.
Now watch the top part of your screen.
There's number 26,
You see Hector Gray right there making contact with Lofton after the ball was thrown. Unfortunately for the Lions, Lofton was not the intended receiver.
It is 1st and goal to go. And the boos rain down from above here at the Pontiac Silverdome. Whitehurst swings it out to Ellis. Price for the goal line. Out of bounds at the 1. Hector Gray drove him out of bounds at the 1. 2nd and goal.
Good play. Throw that ball on 1st down. As Whitehurst on the play action pass hits Ellis, and he almost gets into the end zone. A 1st down pass, and that's the way to work it. A lot of teams, and even the Packers, when you get the ball 1st down on the 5 or 6 yard line, you start to try and run it in. Throw that ball. What do you got to lose when you're 2 and 5?
Zeke Bratkowski signaling in the play. There's Eric Hipple on the near sideline. 2nd and goal from the 1. Indication yet.
They're saying just a touch short of the goal line.
He did not get over. Fantetti, number 57, closed the door on Ellis.
A very good hit by Fantetti. Ellis turns it up the field, puts his shoulder down, drives in there. Boy, it looked like he was over to me.
From that angle, it certainly does, doesn't it?
Yes. It was a good hit by Fantetti, but it appeared that he had gotten the ball across the plane of the goal line. They still have 2 shots at it. Okay, his forward progress put it back up to about the half-yard line. Now a big decision. Zeke and Bart talking it over. As you see, the Lions came across the line of scrimmage there, and about 3 of them, somebody was almost standing up there to cause that problem. That's number 53, Cobb, who got up there and showed some real strength there as he held off that Packer line, and Huckleby could not get up and over.
It looked like Huckleby started his leap a little early, too.
Well, Cobb was on his feet, so it made it extra high. They're going to go for it.
Here it is, 4th and goal. Inside the 1. Touchdown to give the lead to the Packers. The Packers will get the official time because Whitehurst can't hear the signals.
To me, a key call here is on the last play, they were a little off tackle with the lead back. It takes the back a fraction of a second longer to get to the line of scrimmage when you're doing a slight slant. And you give the defense, you allow the defense to have somebody maybe sneak through and cut it down. I think you got to run both backs straight for the line of scrimmage and give them that quick pop, and you got to fly him up and over rather than take the one lead back and hope the other back can follow him through. When you only got a half a yard to go, let's see how they call it.
Green Bay's calling an official timeout now. Bart Starr wants to talk to Whitehurst. This is one play you do not want any mix-up on, quite obviously. Or is there going to be an official time? Let's see. Bart Starr wants to talk to Whitehurst. He's signaling in to come over. Yes, there will be a time. Whitehurst now heading over to the bench, and they'll talk this one over. It'll be 4th down and a matter of less than a foot for a touchdown.
Well, you have to decide, can the quarterback sneak it a half a yard? Can he get enough momentum? If you got the confidence that the center and guards can go forward a half a yard and the quarterback can get up and over, would you rather have a back who can hit that line full speed and fly up and over on the direct hit, or are you going to take advantage of the back and try and slant of their lead back and try and go off the tackle? To me, it's straight ahead with a back rather than a slant type of maneuver. But there's various ways you can go.
Monty Clark over on the Lions side. This crowd, of course, can really be an ally for you. As loud as they got in the first half, they forced the Packers to abandon the shotgun and go out of the tee. And of course, that timeout was called originally because the quarterback, Whitehurst, couldn't hear the signals.
See, the thing also that you have is you have linebackers who will get now 2 or 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage and take a guess, and they'll go for one of the backs. If you have the backs going the same place, that linebacker is going to head right for it. So it's all a point of strategy here and percentages.
The clock should read 6:38. The clock, correct time on the clock is 6:38. Please run 7 seconds off the clock. 6:38.
There's the adjustment being made.
Well, let's see if that 7 seconds comes into play at the end of the ball game. There it is, a half a yard.
4th down. And the crowd gets louder once again as the Packers break their huddle.
Also, if they don't make it, they do have the Lions on their own half-yard line. That's why you got to go for the touchdown rather than the field goal, in my opinion, and apparently Bart Starr's.
Ellis, he is over. Touchdown. Woo!
The Lions had it pegged. Hector Gray came across as they went on the slant, but only great running by Ellis. Some power running got him through because he was hit by 2 Lions. Watch 26. Hector Gray gets across, jams it up, and there they are right there. They had him, but Ellis was determined that he was going to get into the end zone. Great running by Gary Ellis for the touchdown. The Packers take the lead.
Saw Terry Totolo, number 50, trying to hang on, but Ellis would not be denied. So Green Bay has gone back into the lead by 2 with the extra point trying to come. Stenerud connects, and the Packers lead it by a margin of a field goal. 6 minutes, 34 seconds left to play. Culminated by Ellis' run, which amounted to about a foot on 4th down. So the Packers lead it by 3 as Stenerud kicks off. Alvin Hall fields this one at the 5. Back to the 15, near sideline to the 20. And is stopped standing up at the 24-yard line. 195 yards. But has not been quite as effective in the second half as he was in the first. Thompson, who has run well, corralled at the 27-yard line.
He's cool, waited for his opportunity and struck. He did not give these guys a break all day long. They picked off one long ball by Foley. They had one fumble after adversity took place throughout the ball game. He held in there, got him back on a long drive toward the... He's done all he can do. Now it's up to the punt kicker.
Boy, a lot has to do.
Down.
2nd and 8. Kane charging up the middle and running.
It's good. 1 second left and the field goal is good and Buffalo's going to win it. A great effort by Denver, but the Bills fighting back.
He follows his blockers there and then just goes away from the flow, breaks the tackle, and is finally knocked down. Good heads-up football by Rick King.
79 yards rushing for Kane, who has already carried 21 times unofficially. 1st and 10 Lions at their 36. Hipple tried to get rid of it. A flag goes down. That may be an intentional grounding.
And it was Michael Douglas coming on the blitz. Nobody to pick him up, and he put the heat on Hipple, and that's what they're going to call.
Intentional grounding. In addition to the penalty, it is loss of down.
He came so fast that nobody could get him. As you see, the backs are up there real tight on the fake it to the screen pass. So Douglas was able to get through, and Hipple definitely did throw the ball to avoid a sack. And that is supposed to be the official's judgment. It's his judgment on that, and I think his judgment was correct.
So they lose the yardage on the sack, plus the down. Football goes back to the 24-yard line. Cardinals still hanging on over the Vikings. It is 2nd down, 20. Eric Hipple under pressure from Johnson. Johnson knocked the ball loose. It bounced right back to Hipple, but is immediately dropped behind the line of scrimmage.
Can you imagine that? He knocked that ball down and it came right up into the hands. He couldn't do that again if he tried. There's Balderschweiler, 76, blocking on 90. Johnson comes around. He's going to reach out, slap the ball right back up. Thank you. And then he takes off. Great play by Johnson. And it was Casey Merrill to save it and still throw him for a loss. But the Lions got a real break there.
So the ball is back to the 17-yard line. It is now 3rd down, 29. We have 4.5 minutes remaining in the game. Trailing 27-24. Hipple looking for the first down, needs 29. It is caught by David Hill at the 40. Fights his way up near the 45. He'll be very close to the first down marker. I don't think he quite made it.
He's going to be about 2 yards short, I believe.
Needed 29. He got 27.
Okay, this is Freddie Scott that you're looking at, and there you see Hill at the top of your screen there, 81. John Anderson tried for the tackle. It was Maurice Harvey who missed the tackle, and Estes Hood pushed him out, but it was determination by David Hill, and he almost got there, ran out of room there on the sidelines. So now we have a 4th down and about 2.
A great individual effort by Hill, almost got him the first down. And it would appear, quite obviously, that the Lions are going to go for it here with 4 minutes and 12 seconds left to play in the game. Plays on another very large play coming up right here as the Detroit Lions have a 4th down, need 2 for the first down at their own 44. It would appear to me here, if they're going to go for this, that Clark certainly doesn't have that much confidence in his defense's ability to hold the Packers, because you could question this call with 4 minutes and 12 seconds to go. Normally, if the defense hold them, they still get the ball back with a couple minutes left.
The defense has been #1 against the run, which you figure the Packers would do. It's just one of those decisions, but I always give credit to a coach who takes a chance once in a while.
Freddie Scott in motion. Hipple throwing on 4th and 2, and it is caught for the first down at the 47-yard line of the Green Bay Packers. In heavy traffic, Rick Kane comes down with the football.
No doubt that was a clutch catch because there were Packers all over the place. Cumbie's going to be there. Mike McCoy, the pass blocking held up, and here it is. He made sure of the catch and took his hit from Cumbie and McCoy and held on. First down, Lions.
Lions driving now. They need a touchdown to move into the lead. A field goal will only tie them. 3.5 minutes remaining. 1st and 10 from the Green Bay 40.
Oh, is a man open.
He's got Kane wide open. Touchdown! No one can believe it. Kane was 5 yards beyond everyone. And dropped the football with a cinch touchdown.
He broke open about 10 yards down the field as the Packers got confused on their coverage. And right here is the place where he broke open. As he played off Thompson, went straight down the field, and the ball does come over the top of his head. Oh, what can you say? What can you say? It's just that it's 2nd down, and the Lions have to forget about that right now.
2nd and 10. Kane, who has had an outstanding afternoon. Horace Kane comes back into the game, and Dexter Bussey is in there now. Hipple. Sideline throw. Scotland couldn't hold it. Mark Lee, number 22, defending. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Three-man rush. Here goes Scott downfield. Mark Lee on the coverage. He just stays with Scott, watches the ball, goes in and hits him as the ball arrives. You cannot call a penalty on that play. You know, Giants Atlanta overtime, and it's not out of the realm of possibility that this game could go to overtime too.
Now they're going to have to get a little bit closer to get into Murray's range. Buffalo kicked a field goal with 1 second left to play to beat Denver. Our score 27-24. Packers leading. 3:17 left to play. 3rd and 10. Hipple is going for it all again. This time it's caught and out of bounds. Leonard Thompson. And he had trouble holding it, I'll tell you that.
He juggled the ball, but he hung on to it. I think it actually almost got down to his knees. But he hung on to the ball as Mark Lee made a diving leap at the last second to obstruct his view. And he hung on to the ball. He's dropped a couple earlier in this game. He has a step on him. Lee goes up, tries to bat the ball away, and whoa, look at that. God, what a catch. Leonard Thompson. The ball got below his knee.
You notice Lee tried to watch him very closely and time his leap and didn't quite do it. 1st and goal from the 9. Down to the 7-yard line goes Vince Thompson, number 38. Cumbie making the stop.
Well, you know, the Lions got a break on that last situation. I don't know if you want to call it a break, but the Packers put that blitz on, so they had a one-on-one situation out there, and late in the game like that, to have one defensive back covering a fast receiver downfield is a good situation for you.
Clock running closer to the 2-minute warning. 2.5 minutes and counting. 2nd and goal from the 7. Hipple wants to throw for 6. King at the 10. King fights his way down to the 5-yard line. It'll be 3rd and goal. Rich Wingo makes the stop.
Okay, just swings him out of the backfield. Packers over there in the coverage. Michael Douglas turns him back the other way, and Douglas actually is what the man who stopped his momentum and everything, and the Packers make the tackle. So we have a third down situation. As Eric Hippo heads for the sideline to talk to Monty Clark.
Packers 20.
And 2 ways to go. It depends on how many men they roll with him. He's got to get that lineman out front so a linebacker doesn't come across and put immediate pressure. Let's see what they do.
Kane and King are the setbacks. Hippo wants to run it. He is down to the 1. He is over. Touchdown.
A quarterback draw. A planned play. A quarterback draw by Eric Hippo, probably figuring the Packers figured he would roll. And I'll tell you, it's a gutsy call on the 5-yard line because there's a lot of traffic in there as Eric Hippo runs it in from 5 yards out. The Lions have taken the lead 30-27 with 1:54. This game is not over yet.
Long way to go. Eric Hippo has now run for 2 touchdowns this afternoon.
Okay, he takes 1, 2, 3, and then turns up the field, and there's no place else to go. He was committed to the run. And he really actually broke a couple of tackles there, put his head down, and boy, he took it right on the head, and he just barely got in there.
Eddie Murray adds the extra point. 31-27. Now the pressure on the Packers. They need a touchdown. Field goal won't help them. 1 minute 54 seconds remaining. Well, Hippo has rushed for 4 touchdowns in 2 games. Well, I'll remind you again, more exciting doubleheader football action on CBS next week. 49ers and the Steelers in an interconference game. You Bear fans watching today will see Chicago take on Tampa Bay. And then in the second game, many of you will watch that decisive Eastern Division game between the Cowboys and the Eagles. And on the other hand, if you're a Lion fan, the Lions will be playing in Los Angeles. They'll take on the Rams, and you'll see that game as the doubleheader game. Of course, remember to join Brent Musburger and the NFL Today crew for previews and highlights of all the NFL action. I would say not a bad encore, would you, for Hippo, huh?
He's done very well. Very well.
20 out of 36, 271 yards. He has rushed for a couple of touchdowns. Murray kicking off. Mark Lee is deep. Lee from the 4-yard line. Out to the 15, and that's it. Tackle made by Alvin Hall. It's amazing to watch how the momentum has shifted back and forth here in the final period from one side to the other.
This has been a heck of a football game. The Packers have been involved in a couple of real dogs the last few weeks, and this one is an exciting one.
Well, you can't say the Packers are boring today, that's for sure.
No, they're playing some good, interesting football, as are the Lions, and they have plenty of time. 1:50 left on the clock and 2 timeouts.
And the beleaguered Bart Starr. 1st and 10. Green Bay from its 16. Packers need a touchdown. Pressure on Whitehurst. Gets rid of it to Ellis. 15, 20. Ellis almost broke loose. He gets out to the 23 and turned it into an 8-yard game.
Great play by Whitehurst and then Ellis. He was on his way down when he got that pass off. There is Doug English, gets a hold of him. He's going down, hits Ellis, and Ellis breaks the tackle as we're back into live action.
Whitehurst over the middle. Intended for Lofton, couldn't hold it at the 40-yard line. Tried to make a diving, sliding catch. And it would have been a great catch. But it goes incomplete. It stops the clock. It'll be 3rd down and 3 for the Packers at their 23. 1:17 left. Packers still have 2 timeouts left.
Actually, those passes are the kinds you're supposed to catch. That one to Lofton, he was down on the ground, but the ball hit him right in the stomach and dropped out of there.
Whitehurst has not had a bad afternoon. Ellis for the 1st down, 30. Up to the 35-yard line. So the Packers buy some time, and now they call timeout. Green Bay will have a first down at its own 35-yard line. 1 timeout left. And 1 minute and 9 seconds remaining as Furness made the stop with an assist from Jimmy Allen.
We have to bear in mind that a field goal will not do the job. They have got to score the touchdown because it is 31-27 as Zeke Redkowski talks with David Whitehurst.
Packers return home next week to face the Seattle Seahawks. Lions, of course, on the road against Los Angeles. Then they
have another final score in. Cleveland beat Baltimore. The final score 42-28. So Cleveland is now 4-4. Baltimore 1-7.
Our score 31-27. The Lions leading the Packers with 1 minute 9 to go. And it has been rather tense, to say the least. Packers with that great firepower. If they can get the ball to Lofton and Jefferson. They've got 3 wide receivers in there. Cassidy is in there as well. Just 1 running back. Whitehurst under pressure. Lets it go on the fly. It hits Kaufman at the Detroit 40. Kaufman at the 39. First down, Green Bay. Less than a minute to go. Clock moving. Look at it again quickly. Packers going to go without a huddle.
Good play by Whitehurst as he throws to Kaufman. Makes the grab, and we're ready to snap another play right here.
Sideline throw. Just intended to stop the clock.
Kaufman played that last play without 1 shoe. He lost his shoe on the play, threw it out of bounds, and played the last play with only 1 shoe on. Now he's going to put the other one on. It's always a lot better to play with 2 shoes, I think. But you can tell how they got involved in the action of the game there. He said, "The heck with the shoe," and he just kept playing. Paul Kaufman with a clutch catch. We have a second down situation on the 39, 41 seconds to go, and still 1 timeout for Green Bay.
2nd and 10 from the Detroit line, 39. Whitehurst goes long for Lofton. Long makes the catch and goes out of bounds at the... Wait a minute. They're now saying he caught it out of bounds. It is incomplete. Decide for yourself.
We're going to get the bird's eye view of whether he caught that ball out of bounds. The pass was thrown very well. Alert play by Lofton, who's watching all the way. Well, I couldn't see. The official was in the way on his first foot down, but it was very close.
It looks like he got the 2nd foot down. I don't know about the first one.
It's hard to say.
It is very close call, but all for naught for the Packers as it comes back to the line of scrimmage. It is 3rd and 10 from the line, 39.
6 defensive backs and 4 rushmen.
36 seconds left to play. Whitehurst back at the 48-yard line to the Packers.
Curtis Green on the sack. You see Green comes inside of Mike Concore, gets through and makes the tackle. Curtis Green, number 62.
Packers are going to use their last timeout to stop the clock with 30 seconds to go. 4th down. 21 needed for the first down. 30 seconds to play. Lofton in motion.
Boy, Detroit's got everybody downfield.
Home run pass for Cassidy. Incomplete. No flags. Lions will take over. .23 seconds left. Packers out of timeouts.
So the Detroit Lions will be 4-4. Minnesota has not lost yet, but the Vikings would be 5-3, and the Lions would only be a game out of first place unless something very unfortunate for Detroit happens here, but I'm sure they're not going to even run the ball, just fall on the ball and run the clock out. Good effort by Green Bay. The Lions came back when they needed it, got the touchdown. Even after a pass was dropped for a touchdown, they managed to persist and got down in there and earned the victory.
Green Bay can stop the clock. And it is over. And Eric Hipple is 2-0 as the field general of the Detroit Lions. Great afternoon for Hipple, 20 out of 36, 271 yards, and he's run for 2 touchdowns.
Clark Starr is coming across the field to shake hands with Monty Clark.